A slave trader recalls an ordinary day in his business. A couple arrived not to buy but to sell their newborn child. The trader refused, questioning their monstrous offer. But a wealthy nobleman stepped in, wanting to buy the baby. This man was a known collector, buying slaves for his arena. The parents handed over the child and walked away. The trader watched, thinking the nobleman was truly insane. The nobleman's obsession, to find the world's strongest slave. Stronger fighters meant bigger crowds and more gold. But most slaves were weak, not worth his time. Then he saw him, the baby's father, an empire-level warrior. The warrior's powerful aura was almost terrifying. He craved a fighter with that kind of raw power. But this incredible warrior was selling his own son. The nobleman's mind reeled with the insane opportunity. He immediately bought the child and dropped him into the cells. He tasks his arena champion with raising the boy. The champion believed the baby wouldn't survive a week. This pit was a place of death, not a place for a child. But against all odds, the child endured. He ate with a ferocious will to keep moving forward. The champion saw something extraordinary in the boy. The child was a prodigy, learning faster than he was taught. When not taught, he figured things out on his own. The child grew, forged in a crucible of endless violence. The champion admits he never understood the boy's mind. But the boy's first arena match revealed everything. He unleashed a pure, terrifying instinct for combat. It was the most perfect fighting he had ever seen. The boy's skill went far beyond his teachings. He absorbed every lesson the brutal arena offered. The champion realized this child was born different. More time passed and the champion grew weaker. He finally met his end in a bloody arena fight. As a new champion gloated over his body, the boy rushed in. The dying champion saw the child he had raised, a monster of pure, unrestrained fury. He avenged his mentor, leaving two bodies in the dirt. Abandoned by his parents, now his mentor was gone too. Yet he survived, growing into an adult in the pit. Now an event promises a path out of the arena. Elsewhere, people gather for some high-stakes betting. A young man tries to drag his friend to the event. His friend is worried it's an illegal gambling den. But his friend corrects him, it's a legal competition. He dismisses his friend's cowardice and pulls him along. The hesitant friend stops in his tracks. He refuses to take another step forward. He came to university for academics, not this. He has to go back to school to pay his tuition. His friend smugly reveals a bag of money. The student realizes his tuition is gone. His friend has already placed their bet. He tells him it's too late to back out now. He even gambled his own tuition money. Now they're both locked into the wager. The student despairs, his future at risk. He remembers his proud, supportive father. He thinks of his adoring little sister. And his mother who sacrificed everything. He desperately prays to get their money back. He vows to cut ties with his manipulative senior. But his friend just cheerfully leads him on. They move deeper into the dark venue. Below them lies a brutal fighting pit. A circular arena waits for its combatants. The entire structure is designed for death. The senior tries to lighten the grim mood. An announcer steps forward to begin the show. He introduces a warrior, a former slave, a newcomer known as the Deathbringer. The crowd roars with savage excitement. The senior is impressed by the warrior's ferocity, but the student is sickened by the reality. The arena reeks of old blood and death. The student is horrified by the brutal display. He asks if they bet on the Deathbringer. The senior reveals they bet on Happy Face, a name that inspires absolutely no confidence. The announcer hypes up the next combatant. He assumes it's an ironic, terrifying nickname. The announcer continues to rile up the crowd. The crowd erupts, chanting the fighter's name. But the student senses something is very wrong. He looks on, searching for an explanation. Then Happy Face appears, a smiling boy. The student is left utterly speechless. William stares down at the smiling kid. The boy wears no armor, no protection. He stands barefoot on the blood-soaked sand. His face is young, unscarred by battle. He smiles as if he doesn't know where he is. William panics, screaming that this is wrong. The kid is clearly unfit to fight, a sacrifice. But the other spectators just watch him calmly. He's disgusted by their cruel amusement. Even his opponent, the Deathbringer, is confused. But he quickly dismisses the strange sight. His only plan was to kill everyone anyway. The Deathbringer lunges forward to attack. The spiked club swings down with brutal force. William flinches, unable to watch the impact. He peeks through his fingers, fearing the worst. The boy lies motionless on the arena floor. But then, impossibly, the kid starts to move. William silently begs him to stay down and die. He wants to scream, to tell him to escape. He's furious at this senseless, weaponless death. He clenches his fist, powerless to intervene. He finally turns away, unable to watch anymore. A memory surfaces of a harsh lesson. He remembers looking down on the less fortunate. As a child, he argued that it was unfair. His father explained their lives were predetermined. He was told to look towards their grand future. That path was their destiny, not the slaves. The cold reality of his world sank in. He clutched his book, a symbol of his status. The memory fades, his grip tightening. His panic is replaced by cold resolve. He turns back to the arena, watching again. His senior questions his strange behavior. Down below, the Deathbringer charges again. He tells the kid not to take it personally. Then he swings, a cruel grin on his face. William screams, trying to stop the inevitable. In that split second, their eyes meet. And impossibly, the kid is still smiling. William can't process what he's seeing. The club smashes down on empty ground. The boy dodges with impossible speed. He counters with a brutal kick to the jaw. The Deathbringer is stunned by the reversal. William watches from the stands in disbelief. The kid's smile is now one of confidence. The entire crowd gasps at the sudden turn. A sharp crack echoes through the silent arena. A strange, forgotten thrill runs through William. He remembers the roar of the crowd. Down below, the boy charges in again. He lands another blow and then another. William's grip tightens on the railing. The fight becomes a relentless, one-sided assault. He can't look away from the raw display. He recognizes this feeling, pure domination. The kid isn't just fighting, he dominates. He stands over his fallen opponent. The Deathbringer's face is a bloody mess. The brute collapses, motionless on the sand. Happy Face is declared the winner. The crowd chants the winner's name. A man hands William his winnings. He remembers his own bag of tuition money. In his palm lies a single copper coin. He stares at the pathetic prize in disbelief. The man who took his bet shows him a slip. Happy's win rate is so high, the payout is almost nothing. He returns William's original tuition money. He asks if William wants to see more fights. William is lost in thought, the offer hanging in the air. The next matches are exactly as he'd imagined. Just cruel, barbaric slaughter for sport. Unable to watch, William leaves the arena. He returns to school and pays his tuition fee. He tries to fall back into his normal routine. His room is filled with academic awards. But his focus is gone, he snaps his quill. A new, unsettling look fills his eyes. His knuckles are white around the broken feather. His mind is clearly somewhere else entirely. The single copper coin sits on the floor. He closes his book for the night. He blows out the candles, plunging the room into darkness. The night sky reflects in the window, but in bed, William lies wide awake. Sleep offers William no escape from the violence. His eyes snap open, trapped in a nightmare. Visions of the arena's brutality burn in his mind. He bolts upright, gasping for air. The nightmare fades, but the fear remains. A rooster's crow signals the start of a new day. His classmate brags to friends about his winnings. Suddenly, William's dark presence startles him. The classmate is terrified by his intense gaze. William asks if they're going back to the arena. The scene shifts back to the fighting pits. Happy's last opponent jolts awake, bandaged and broken. A fellow fighter tells him to prepare for the next match. He grits his teeth, remembering his humiliating defeat. A flashback shows Happy's devastating kick. His friend explains Happy's unique fighting style. The defeated fighter scoffs at the explanation. He claims it was just one lucky kick. His friend laughs, saying he would be dead otherwise. The taunt hits a raw nerve. He points to where the real losers end up. The defeated man's fist tightens in rage. Happy arrives, cheerfully breaking up the tension. The angry fighter immediately submits to Happy. A silent threat passes between the two men. The bruised fighter notices the other prisoner's silence. He can't believe this pathetic kid is the boss here. He dismisses his own defeat as a lucky shot. He surveys the room, seeing only weaklings. A crazed smile forms, he'll take this place over. He marches up to Happy, calling him a runt. He demands to know how the boy was enslaved. Happy cheerfully explains he was sold at birth. The people here raised him and taught him to fight. The challenger questions why his teachers now fear him. Happy corrects himself, a smile on his face, and pulls his shirt over his head, revealing a body covered in countless scars. The challenger stares, a bead of sweat forming. Happy says his real teachers are all long dead. Now there's no one left to give him a real fight. He's always just facing new people like him. He reveals his true role, to test new arrivals. He even gets injured on purpose for the show. The challenger's world completely shatters. He flashes back to Happy's crazed smile in the arena. The boy took a brutal hit without flinching. He remembers watching another fighter's gruesome end. The horrifying realization hits him full force. Happy places a hand on his shoulder, freezing him. Happy says there's no need to fight during breaks. The challenger is frozen, utterly terrified. Suddenly, Happy turns with a vicious smile and smashes the man into a training dummy. The dummy shatters under the brutal assault. Other fighters watch, saying everyone reacts that way. The scene shifts to a man holding an arena pass. He reads the name on it, Iron Face. A friend asks him to go to the arena for him. He's given the pass and specific betting orders. He just wanted to see Happy's match again. He joins the long queue to enter the arena. Meanwhile, we cut to a gravedigger's house. An old man tells his apprentice to come with him. His apprentice Sagar was studying anatomy. They head towards the arena with a cart. A field of corpses lies before them. Sagar says he'll stack the bodies well. The old man thinks his new hire is reliable. Sagar lifts a body, a mask on his face. He suddenly stops, checking the man's pulse. His eyes widen in complete shock. He notices strange bruises on the body. He realizes all the corpses have similar marks. He deduces they were all killed by bare fists. He realizes the wounds are old, not from the final match. Why would a weapons arena have so many fistfight victims? Suddenly, the old man calls out in a panic. Sagar rushes over to see what's wrong. The master has found the body of a royal. He confirms the identity from a missing person notice. A royal missing for a month is dead in the arena. Sagar decides to report it to the authorities, but the old man grabs him, stopping him cold. He warns that getting involved is too dangerous. The paranoid king would surely blame them for the crime. He insists it's better to just bury the body quietly. Sagar listens, his expression hardening with resolve. He turns to face his master. He declares that justice must be served, even if it costs his life. He walks off, leaving the terrified old man behind. The master watches him go, sweating with fear. He laments that he hired the wrong man for the job. Sagar knows the king's wrath will mean mass executions. We cut back to the man with the arena pass. He's in the stands, ready to see Happy's match. The scene shifts to a bright, clear sky. Suddenly, dark storm clouds gather and lightning strikes. Inside a house, a woman notices the sudden storm. She rushes outside to bring in her laundry. Her eyes widen in confusion. Royal knights have appeared at her door. An entire platoon has descended on the town. They march through the rain toward the arena. Their commander slams his weapon down. He declares a royal murderer is hiding inside. His orders are simple: kill on sight. Inside, the bloody matches continue unaware. The man with the pass looks on unimpressed. An announcer steps forward for the main event. He builds the tension for the crowd. He reminds them of a notorious serial killer. The crowd murmurs, remembering the terror. A killer known as the Nocturnal Demon. He announces the killer is here to fight, and his opponent is the fan favorite Happy Face. The man with the pass is stunned by the news. The Nocturnal Demon steps into the light, laughing. He's thrilled to be paid for slaughter. He readies his blades, eager to begin. But a heavy boot steps onto the sand. The Knight Commander confronts the killer. He realizes the arena owner has royal connections. The killer stares, sensing a new threat. His eyes widen in sudden realization. A flashback shows a door swinging open. He remembers being given his first weapon. He was forced into a life of killing. In the present, the commander grips his mace. He brings it down hard on the killer. The announcer waits, confused by the delay. The crowd believes the announcement was a lie. But then someone points to the arena floor. They see a royal knight has entered the ring. The announcer tries to shout over the noise, but the commander issues a chilling order. He declares everyone a suspect in a royal murder. One man protests, trying to push past the guards. Resistance is met with a swift, sharp spear. The king's orders are clear: kneel or die. The man with the pass kneels, his winnings scattered. The commander notices one person still standing. It's the fan favorite Happy Face, smiling calmly. The commander asks if he finds this amusing. The boy's smile vanishes, his eyes glowing. He explodes into motion, lunging forward. The commander scoffs, tired of being challenged. He tightens his grip on his weapon. The boy's foot shatters the arena floor. He swings a massive blade with brutal force, but the commander stops the blade before it swings. The boy uses the momentum to pivot left. He unleashes a vicious, smiling kick upwards. A blinding flash of impact follows. The blow sends the commander's head snapping back. The crowd and guards can only stare in shock. Happy Face flips through the air, still grinning. The commander, bleeding, glares with pure hatred. His grip tightens, splintering the weapon's shaft. He roars and prepares a furious counterattack. But the boy is already there, anticipating his move. He's moved in too close for a weapon swing. The commander realizes he's trapped, with no escape. The boy's eyes lock on the perfect opening. A brutal punch connects with the commander's jaw. The armored knight is sent flying across the arena. The man with the pass watches, his mind blown. Our boy lands perfectly, kicking up a cloud of dust. But the commander's eyes burn with fury. The crowd is stunned that the commander survived. He gets to his feet, swinging his axe wildly. His attack carves a trench in the sand, but he hits nothing but empty air. He looks around, confused by the boy's speed. A spinning kick connects from behind. The commander crashes face first into the sand. Happy Face looms over him, still smiling. But then arrows rain down from the stands. He's struck from all sides, a sudden ambush. The commander is also hit, cursing in confusion. He can't comprehend what is happening. His eyes widen, questioning who this kid is. Even with an arrow in his back, the boy grins. The commander watches him from a distance. He sees the boy's smile as pure mockery. He won't be humiliated, even in death. He raises his weapon for the final blow. Suddenly, the man with the pass screams, "Stop." He runs frantically into the arena. He calls out the commander's name, Lukastian. He explains the boy only knows arena rules. He's a trained dog who sees only opponents. Lukastian listens, his expression unreadable. On the ground, the boy's body twitches. The commander's eyes narrow in thought. The man reveals the smile is a disability. His facial nerves are damaged, frozen in place. Lukastian is stunned by this revelation. The man swears it's the unbelievable truth. He's had that same expression since birth. He smiled even when abandoned by his parents. He smiled even when he was stabbed and bleeding. He even looked happy as his guardian died. Called a demon, he was constantly misunderstood. But he always survived because he could fight. The spectator watches from behind the bars. He claims to have watched Happy's entire life. He saw the boy bloodied but still smiling. Inside, the boy is always scared and in despair. But people only see the smile, not the truth. He urges Lukashjan to look closer at the boy. The crowds were captivated by his strange joy. He admits he was also drawn to Happy. This is his repayment for that vicarious joy. Lukashjan's axe is still poised to strike, but the commander dismisses it as nonsense. The spectator intercepts the fatal blow. Afterward, Lukashjan and the others were executed. The gallows were built below the king's balcony. This public justice slightly calmed the king's wrath. Meanwhile, prisoners await their own execution. A young prisoner heard everyone involved is dying. He can't understand what he did to deserve this. He breaks down, begging for someone to spare him. Suddenly, Happy asks if he's okay. The young prisoner turns, recognizing Happy. He recoils in shock, asking when he arrived. Happy explains they've been cellmates all along. He was just watching the boy's breakdown. The prisoner realizes he was lost in his despair. He remembers seeing Happy riddled with arrows, and asks how he's even alive after that attack. Happy reveals he only faked the fatal injuries. The boy can't believe what he's hearing. He recalls the spectator's words about the smile. He asks if Happy is also scared despite his face. With a huge grin, Happy admits he's terrified. The contradiction leaves the prisoner speechless. He breaks into a tearful laugh at the absurdity. He quickly tries to apologize for his reaction, but Happy says everyone reacts that way. The prisoner is taken aback by his kindness. He looks down, a new understanding dawning. Somehow, Happy's presence eases his fear of death. Suddenly, a guard announces a royal decree. Prisoners can prove their innocence to be freed, but anyone who can't will be executed. The prisoner's family rushes in, calling his name. They embrace in a tearful, confused reunion. For a moment, he feels safe in their arms. From his cell, Happy watches the reunion. A sudden, painful realization hits him. He turns back, calling out for Happy. A memory surfaces of his father's hands. His father's words echo from the past. A lesson about the unfortunate. He was taught their lives were predetermined. The memory fills him with old sorrow. But he knows that's no reason to die. He remembers his father's fall from grace. His father pulls him away, urging him on. He feels he's still that same helpless boy, powerless to change his own fate. He's trapped by his own weakness. But Happy's voice cuts through his despair. His eyes snap open with a new thought. Happy stands at the bars, back still bloody. A warden watches the family depart. He orders the remaining prisoners to the gallows. But the guard mentions one special case. A lord paid a huge sum to the church. Instead of death, he's sentenced to slavery. The warden demands to know who it is. The prisoner has no name, only a title. The contestant's name is Happy Face. The warden understands the lord's final gift. He wonders what kind of man inspires such devotion. 1 week later, at a desolate slave market, a man stares down at Happy, caged and broken. The slave traders mock the new arrival's laughter. They decide to just let him starve to death. But a mysterious old woman arrives to buy him. The trader says there are no children for sale. She points to Happy, seeing a child crying sadly. His eyes snap open, filled with confusion. With resolve, she declares she will take him. His broken reflection appears in her eye. Elsewhere, a young woman learns the shocking news. She panics, realizing her grandmother is alone with a slave. An old man explains they need help around the house, but she insists a slave can't be trusted. She resolves to judge the new slave for herself. The sun sets over a peaceful farmhouse. The old woman leads Happy inside to wash up. A loud growl from his stomach stops her short. She turns, angry they didn't even feed him. She sends him to the bath and prepares a meal, but she warns him he'll have to work for his keep. Confused, he asks if she means fighting. His strange question leaves her bewildered. She scolds him for such frightening talk. His work will be simple chores, not combat. He seems almost delighted by the idea. He sheds his filthy rags for the bath. He dips a foot into the warm water. A memory of freezing cold flashes through his mind. The new sensation leaves him stunned. For the first time, he feels true warmth. The water soothes his scarred, broken body. This simple comfort is a first in his entire life. It feels like all his past pain is washing away. Everything here is warm: the clothes, the food, the house, and even the people. She gently treats his many wounds with herbs. He calls her master, the only title he knows. But she offers him a different name, grandmother. The word is foreign, confusing him. She waits patiently for him to speak. He timidly asks if he can go outside. A quiet understanding passes between them. Outside, he reaches for the open sky. His eyes reflect the light of a new dawn. For the first time, he feels truly free. A memory surfaces, a dark cell, a sliver of light. A man in the cell tells Happy the world is vast. He describes a world of endless sky and true freedom. The memory fades and he turns from the dawn. He turns his gaze back to his new home. Grandmother gives him a choice, he can leave. But his eyes flash with a strange red light. He walks back inside, his decision made. His bare feet step onto the warm floorboards. Another memory, a child's first wobbly steps. The man in the cell was his father. A memory of his father's tearful smile. Grandmother watches, her eyes filled with empathy. He smiles, declaring he's ready to work today. Her smile is one of pure, simple joy. An old man returns home, calling for his wife. He stops short, completely surprised. Happy, already in an apron, welcomes him home. The man asks his wife where the child is. She insists Happy is the child she brought home. The man laughs, anticipating someone else's reaction. He welcomes Happy and the boy agrees. A genuine smile lights up Happy's face. Through the window, a new family is formed. It was the warmest day of Happy's entire life. A rock shatters a window in the night. But that same night, another boy stares out. For a boy named William, it's the coldest day. The arena incident has branded him a criminal. They whisper he enjoyed watching royalty die. His awards are confiscated, his scholarship revoked. Now the entire school has turned against him. His expression hardens, hiding the pain. He watches his father plead for his future. He can only lower his head in shame. He turns and walks away from the scene. William pounds on a senior's door, desperate. He screams his innocence, trying to return a pass. The door finally cracks open. He looks up, a flicker of hope in his eyes. But the senior's cold gaze shatters it. The senior takes the pass, telling him to get lost. William stares, utterly betrayed. The senior turns, mocking William to his friends. His hand clenches, knuckles turning white. He snaps, swinging at the senior's head. The block of wood connects with a sickening crack. The others grab him, calling him a killer. The senior smirks. William's expulsion is now certain. Held back, William can only spit in defiance. He screams defiance as they call him trash. That night, William is kicked out of the dorms. Too ashamed to go home, he flees to the mountains. He sobs, apologizing to his parents for his failure. Suddenly, a strange boy appears, asking if he's okay. William stares in disbelief, thinking the boy was dead. The boy just smiles, out looking for a midnight snack. He cheerfully offers William a mushroom. William warns him that the mushroom is poisonous. But from the bushes, they are being watched. A group of bandits has been tracking William. They're convinced he's a rich noble's son. His companion is dismissed as a simple-minded servant. Their eyes glow with greed, it's time to strike. William learns the boy is now a slave nearby. He says his new master is kind and lets him wander. William smiles, glad the boy found a good person. The boy laughs, relieved he escaped a worse fate. He then asks William why he was crying earlier. William lowers his head, unable to explain his pain. A bandit approaches, asking what a noble is doing here. William's head whips around, sensing the danger. In a flash, the entire group surrounds them. He tells his new friend Happy to get down. But it's William who suddenly drops to the ground. William begs for his life, offering all he has. The bandits just laugh at his pathetic plea. Their leader mockingly applauds his quick surrender. But they don't want his money, they want his parents. As they move to tie him up, William denies being a noble. One of them grabs Happy, questioning his basket. Without warning, Happy smashes his fist into the man's face. The bandit drops, completely knocked out cold. His comrades stare in utter disbelief. They ask what happened, but Happy just keeps smiling. It's a chilling, unsettling grin. Another bandit furiously accuses the boy. But Happy's hand is already moving. He strikes again with impossible speed. A second man falls, his face a mess. The rest of the group is completely stunned. Happy stands over them, his smile now pure menace. The leader screams, ordering his men to kill the boy. He leads the charge, sword swinging wildly. But Happy moves like a phantom, dodging every blow. He lands gracefully, ready for the next attack. He ducks under another wild axe swing, then delivers a brutal counterattack. The man doesn't even know what hit him. Happy picks up an axe, his eyes burning with intensity. He hurls the axe with deadly force. The leader stares, frozen in pure horror. The rest of the gang is brutally dismantled. William watches, shaken by Happy's expression. He remembers Happy was a former arena champion. The last few bandits turn and flee for their lives. But Happy just grins, blood on his face. William can't believe he beat them all barehanded. He recalls the fight with the royal knight. Then he notices something on the ground. Lying next to a body is a wanted poster. It's an arrest notice for the exile clowns, and the reward makes him gasp. He tells Happy who these men really were. Happy has no idea what he's talking about. They're the kingdom's largest criminal organization. The king himself has put a bounty on them, and the price for their capture is substantial. William suggests they turn them in for the money. The word bounty gets Happy's full attention. At the office, they're told slaves can't get bounties. William argues that Happy is his friend, but the official says his status doesn't change. So William offers to claim it in his name. The paperwork is processed, listing William as the capturer. William is handed a heavy bag of coins. He gives the bounty money to Happy, but Happy has no idea how to shop. William realizes how little he knows of the world. He offers to teach him how to live. The two walk and talk, growing closer. They make plans to meet up again soon, and with a wave they part ways. William watches him go with a smile, but his smile quickly fades away. A heavy sigh escapes his lips. The next morning arrives all too soon. It's the day of William's expulsion verdict. His parents watch from the crowd, worried. The noble he fought sits with his family. The judge begins to read the charges. William braces himself for the inevitable. He's found guilty of assaulting a student, but the judge isn't finished speaking. For defeating the exile clowns, he's awarded a medal. His parents can't believe what they're hearing. The noble's family is completely shocked. By the king's order, his crimes are forgiven. The noble student seethes with disbelief. He assumes William's parents bribed the court. The noble's family accuses them of buying his position. He rips off his bandage furious. The story flashes back to the previous night. Before meeting William, Happy couldn't. An unknown agony racked his body. The pain persisted for hours on end. He wonders if he's just hungry, but his body craved the violence of the arena. The fight with the clowns had stabilized him, and now he wakes up feeling refreshed. Sunlight streams into the quiet room. He calls out, looking for his grandmother. A young woman arrives, hugging her family. They tell her the little one is inside. She brought a small gift for him. She calls out to the new arrival. Happy appears in the doorway, smiling. The woman freezes, dropping the gift. The small wooden bird falls to the dirt. She stares in complete disbelief. She realizes this is the child they meant. He waves cheerfully, introducing himself as Happy. We see the family's quiet country home. Later, she confronts her grandfather. She's terrified that he's from the arena. The grandfather suggests they observe him longer. He believes Happy seems like a good person. Besides, he's just glad to see his wife smile. Outside, Happy shares a genuine laugh with her. He's the brightest person they've seen in ages. And most importantly, he's an excellent worker. Happy effortlessly carries a heavy barrel. The old man is moved, unable to do such work. But the young woman remains unconvinced. Later, she heads out to the woodpile. She insists they didn't need to buy a slave. With a powerful swing, she splits a log. She works furiously, chopping the firewood. In the background, Happy carries water from the well. She stops, surprised by his diligence. He cheerfully says he's prepared her bath water. She tells him to rest, she'll handle the wood. Happy happily agrees to her offer. He sets the heavy buckets down beside the well, then sits on the grass ready to watch. She turns, confused why he's still there. He wants to watch and learn his new job. His earnest attitude begins to soften her. She grips the axe, telling him to learn well. Tying her hair back, she prepares to work. With a mighty swing, she brings the axe down. Splinters fly through the air as the log splits. Happy watches her, a small smile on his face. She explains the need for small pieces to start a fire. He listens, completely captivated by her lesson. She readies herself for another powerful swing. The axe bites deep, cleaving the wood in two. She turns to him, beaming with pride. His eyes are wide with genuine amazement. She asks if he saw her perfect form, and he cheers. From the window, the old man watches them interact. He smiles, glad his wife Winnie is getting along with him. The old woman appears, telling Winnie to stop. Winnie is confused, thinking they need more firewood. But there's already a massive pile chopped. She's stunned, realizing Happy did all this. She confronts him, asking why he pretended to learn. He admits he tried yesterday, but his form was terrible. Flustered, she says he should have told her. His constant smiling infuriates her. The old woman thanks Happy, sending him off to rest. As the sun sets, the day's work is done. The house grows quiet in the fading light. Evening settles in the empty hallway. By candlelight, a new set of clothes lies waiting. Winnie soaks in the bath, admitting it's nice having him around. With all the chores done, the house feels more peaceful. As she dries her hair, a figure rushes past the window. She finishes up, but something catches her eye outside. A flicker of movement makes her stop and stare. It's Happy running off into the distance. With night falling, she wonders where he's headed. She bursts in, asking if Happy left without a word. The old woman admits she gave him permission to leave. The old man reveals this isn't the first time. Her suspicion deepens. What is he up to? Elsewhere, Happy arrives, a bag of coins in hand. He knocks firmly on a heavy wooden door. He calls out a name, William. The door creaks open, a small child peering out. He looks down, momentarily confused. A little girl asks who's there. A young man, William, greets him at the door. The little girl, Ellie, asks where he's going. He whispers that he's just going to the library. She asks if Happy is his library friend. She waves them off, telling them to be safe. William is surprised by how quickly Happy arrived. Happy asks if he's allowed to be out. William smiles, saying it's perfectly fine. William says he owes him for saving his life. He promises to explain everything on the way. But Happy reveals a different plan entirely. William stares, completely lost. He's holding a stack of wanted posters. He wants to fight criminals but can't read the posters. He proposes they team up for bounty hunting. William is intrigued by his fighting prowess. For Happy, it's a way to fight and earn money. And so their nightly partnership began. William says he's researched a solid lead. They collect new wanted posters for more targets. Meanwhile, his family's suspicions begin to grow. His sister cries, upset he leaves every night. His parents share a worried glance. Back at Happy's home, a small clue is left behind. She discovers Happy's hidden stash. A bag of coins spills onto the floor. Her fear grows. Where is this money from? The money is part of a much larger treasure, guarded by the fugitive, the Iron Giant. He stands alone amidst a sea of defeated soldiers. He grumbles about the increased guard presence. Soldiers once ignored him, but times have changed. The kingdom is on edge, and so is he. The bounty on his head is attracting too many flies. And right on cue, a new challenger appears. He proudly announces they've found their man. The confrontation is about to begin. A new chapter of violence unfolds. But William senses something is deeply wrong. He chose the lowest bounty, not this killing field. The giant dismisses them as rookies and tells them to leave. The bounty, he claims, is just a formality. William questions how he's gotten away with it. Was it simply because no one could catch him? Realizing his mistake, William tries to retreat. But his retreat is suddenly cut short. Happy launches himself directly at the giant. The attack is blocked by the massive shield. He lands hard, the impact rattling him. The giant is shocked by the reckless charge. He taunts Happy, saying his knee is shattered. But Happy just limps forward, laughing wildly. William watches in absolute horror. He screams for Happy to retreat with him. But the giant declares it's too late. He brings his massive weapon down on Happy. His mercy, he says, has run out. Happy barely dodges the relentless assault. Happy desperately parries the crushing blow. The mace slams into the earth beside him. He retaliates with a swift kick to the leg. The giant swings again, a blur of motion. A brutal dance of death unfolds in the clearing. William can only watch, paralyzed by fear. Happy finally stumbles and falls to the ground. Suddenly, William throws himself between them. Happy looks up, confused by the intervention. William confesses he saw the arena as entertainment. He always believed Happy was invincible. He only helped out of gratitude and admiration. But he realizes this isn't a controlled fight. He never wanted to send his friend to die. The giant shows no pity for his tears, but Happy shoves him out of the way. He recognizes William from the arena crowd and reveals his injuries were just an act. With a powerful kick, he disarms the giant. The armored man stumbles back in shock. He demands to know how he's uninjured. Happy turns to William, holding the weapon. He begins to explain his past. His former master forced him into endless battles, but his quick victories angered the man. He had to fake his struggles for the crowd. He learned to analyze foes and feign weakness. It was all part of the performance, a carefully choreographed dance of violence. Even his injuries were part of the act. Now he tosses the mace aside. It clatters uselessly on the dirt. The giant stares at his returned weapon. Happy gestures for him to come get it. The armored man seethes, utterly bewildered. He confesses he never enjoyed fighting. He fought because torture was the alternative. The trauma is now embedded in his body. It's the only way he knows how to live. He unleashes a furious barrage of blows. The giant's shield is easily deflected. The giant scoffs at his weak attacks, but Happy's movements are fluid and precise. He effortlessly evades every clumsy swing. His opponent begins to grow exhausted. The armored man senses something is wrong. Just moments ago, the man was dying. Now he fights with a confident smile. The giant grips his mace in frustration. A terrifying glint appears in Happy's eyes. The giant brings his mace crashing down, but Happy slips right inside his guard. He uses the man's own weight against him. The armored giant slams into the dirt. Happy drives his dagger into the armor, but the thick plating refuses to break. With a furious scream, he tries again. The giant shoves him off with a powerful kick. His opponent's eyes burn with pure rage. He swings his mace in a desperate arc. The armored man roars in frustration. Happy counters with a swift, brutal kick. He closes the distance, grabbing his helmet, then smashes his face into the ground. A vicious kick follows, then another. He stomps down with relentless force. The giant can only scream in agony. Happy grabs a handful of his long hair. He yanks the man's head back sharply. The helmet is cracked, his face a bloody mess. Our boy raises his dagger for the final blow, but he stops, pinning him with his foot. The armored man is utterly defeated, gasping for air. Happy smiles, noting his opponent's injuries. The giant can only stare in disbelief and terror. The giant's grip tightens on his shield. Happy slams a kick into the metal plate. The armored man gasps for breath, exhausted. But our boy just grins, ready for more. From behind a rock, an observer notes the stalemate. The giant's armor is now a heavy burden, but Happy's attacks lack the power to finish him. The giant knows he just has to endure. He realizes Happy is only targeting his head. The observer, terrified, considers running for his life. Happy turns and calls out his name, William. He tells William never to protect him again, because William is the only friend he's ever had. William is left speechless by the confession. Happy promises to prove he can win this. He reaches down among the fallen soldiers. The giant watches, confused by his actions. Happy grabs a broken spearhead, vowing to end this. His opponent scoffs at the pathetic weapon. He boasts that his armor has broken everything else. Why would a broken spear be any different? Happy holds the bloodied point in his hand. A wicked grin spreads across his face. He hurls the spearhead with blinding speed. The giant's eyes widen in utter disbelief. The spearhead clangs against the giant's shield. He scoffs, thinking the attack failed. But the throw was just a feint. Happy explodes forward with blinding speed. He's inside the giant's guard in a flash. The armored man can't even react. He stammers, realizing his fatal mistake. Happy grabs his helmet with both hands. He puts all his weight into a vicious twist. Pure terror fills the giant's eyes. His weapons clatter uselessly to the ground. A muffled scream escapes the helmet. Happy brutally wrenches his head to the side. A savage grin spreads across his face. He warns him that struggling will only make it worse. The giant gasps, trapped in an iron grip. Happy grinds his teeth, applying more pressure. He gives him one last chance to surrender. His own hand trembles from the sheer effort. A sickening crack echoes from the armor. As the giant's neck finally gives way, the armored body goes completely limp. He tosses the corpse aside like trash. William can't believe what he's just witnessed. Happy turns to his friend, his hand dripping blood. He offers a disturbingly cheerful smile. William swallows hard, completely terrified. Happy's eyes are wide and unblinking. He explains the giant only fainted from pain. He looks over the carnage he created. He admits it wasn't a proper fight, but William quickly praises his amazing skill. He gives a thumbs up, trusting him completely. Happy accepts the praise with a grin. With the battle over, he asks to leave, but then he decides to sleep right there. He passes out, leaving William with the mess. William is left utterly bewildered. He can't believe Happy is actually asleep. He wonders if he should leave him. Suddenly, a thought strikes him. He spots a bloody knife on the ground. He picks up the discarded weapon. He realizes Happy used a hidden blade. He decides to check the giant's body. His eyes narrow with curiosity. He struggles to move the armored corpse. The body is impossibly heavy. He gives up and decides to get help. But a squad of soldiers blocks his path. He freezes, caught with the bloody knife. Their leader steps forward, demanding answers. The captain's gaze falls on the giant's corpse. He analyzes the wound with a sharp gaze. His eyes lock onto the bloody knife. A soldier points, yelling he caught the criminal. William can only stare in confusion. The soldier explains he saw him with a wanted poster. He declares William must be a bounty hunter. He asks for a name and William gives it. The soldiers recognize the name William. They recall rumors of his amazing skill. William learns rumors are spreading about him. He's horrified by his growing reputation. They'll take over processing the scene now. A soldier offers to escort him out. The captain notices the porter, seemingly a casualty. But the captain's suspicion is growing. He inspects the knife, noting the blood. He realizes no weapon here caused the wound. His subordinate asks what the real weapon was. The camera reveals Happy's blackened hand. William carries Happy, claiming he's just sleeping. The captain watches, finding the story inconsistent. A dark scene shows prisoners being tortured. A captured man kneels, broken and terrified. His leader reminds him of their vow. He brought shame by losing to a student. The man can only beg for his life. But his failure is met with cold steel. The leader declares such shame happens only once. They are not bandits but exiled revolutionaries. Elsewhere, a woman is asked about William. She identifies him from the bounty hunter list. William has just become their next target. Blood flows from the sewers into the city. A noble asks about the student's family. His son rants that William is just new money. The father listens with a calculating gaze. He hands his son a secret document. It's a contract for a group of brigands. He reveals the family's personal assassins. The order is given, take care of William. The next day dawns bright and clear. A woman walks through the peaceful town, but she stops, her face filled with horror. Two blackened corpses lie on the street. The bodies are carted to a desolate graveyard. Two men confirm 3 corpses were found. The case is already closed, despite signs of murder. The old gravedigger warns his young assistant, Sagar. He recalls how Sagar's reporting nearly got them jailed. The dead were exiles, no one will investigate. But Sagar remains silent, deep in thought. One detail about the bodies still bothers him. He recalls seeing old bruises on the corpses. They're just like the bodies from the arena. A young woman arrives, calling for the gravedigger. She's brought a bag full of requested herbs. He thanks Winnie, asking about her grandmother. The two share a lighthearted exchange. She then turns, noticing Sagar nearby. Winnie offers a friendly greeting to Sagar. He gives a quiet, reserved reply. She's brought some herbs for him as well. His surprise makes her question the gift. Flustered, he quickly expresses his gratitude. The gravedigger tells her she's too generous, but she wants to repay his hard work. She notes Sagar has lasted longer than past assistants. He's a good worker but wanders off at night. Her expression suddenly turns serious. The old man notices her sudden change. She begins to reveal a secret of her own. The gravedigger is stunned. She brought in a slave. Winnie reveals her suspicions about the slave. He sneaks out at night and has hidden money pouches. But his past in the arena is what truly worries her. Sagar interjects, the city's only arena is gone, and all of its contestants were executed. Winnie is shocked, but she knows he's from there. Sagar explains the fighters were all vicious criminals. For one to survive without status or family, they must have had backing the king couldn't touch. He warns her that her grandmother hired a dangerous man. He offers to investigate if she brings the slave papers. She agrees, promising to return tomorrow with them. When he departs, leaving the two men alone, the gravedigger turns to Sagar with a grim prediction. Keep digging and he'll find a blade before the truth. Sagar clutches the herbs Winnie gave him. He just wants good people to survive in this world. He looks at the gift, his resolve hardening. That night the sky is dark and clear. A man in green arrives carrying someone. On his back a young boy is fast asleep. The carrier knows the boy is exhausted from recent nights. He makes his way toward a small, lit farmhouse. He knocks on the door, announcing his presence. The door swings open to reveal Winnie and her family. The man, William, begins to tell his story. He explains everything he knows about Happy. The boy was born and raised in the arena. He fought because the pain kept him from sleeping. William lays out the boy's tragic history for the family. The story brings Winnie's grandmother to tears. Her grandfather listens in solemn silence, and Winnie's own anxieties finally begin to fade. William concludes by calling Happy his lifesaver. With his story told, he politely departs. The slave papers now sit by the fire. The fire burns out, the decision made. The next morning, a new day dawns. Happy wakes up with his usual wide smile, but his eyes well up with tears. He looks up to see Winnie standing over him. She asks why he never told them about his pain. He doesn't answer, just keeps smiling. She admits they misunderstood him completely. He says if he's useless, he'll be thrown away. She tells him this isn't the arena. Their grandmother already considers him family. She promises to cure him so he won't have to fight. The family will help him live a normal life. She reaches out, vowing to use her skills to help. Winnie makes a solemn vow to heal him. He looks at her, his smile unwavering. Happy takes her hand, accepting her promise. His joy is overwhelming, pure and simple. He suddenly remembers a gift he bought. He slides a sparkling ring onto her finger. She freezes, completely stunned by the gesture. He asks why, not understanding her reaction. He proudly declares it's a wedding ring, but he has no idea what that means. Just then, her grandfather enters with a bag. It's the bounty money from William. Happy gives it all away, vowing to stop fighting. The grandfather embraces him, calling him family. He accepts the money for their new grandson. When he watches the scene unfold, still processing, her grandmother joins them, her expression soft. A gentle smile finally crosses Winnie's face. She realizes her grandmother was right all along. He is pure innocence, giving gifts to his new family. Elsewhere, a note is delivered to Mr. Sagar. The rooftop observer reads the message. Below, a man in red tries to apologize to him, but his senior companion coldly dismisses him. The junior drops to his knees, begging for forgiveness. The senior tells him to get up for a private talk. They walk away, observed from a distance. The observer scoffs at their pathetic acting. The junior wipes away his fake tears, cursing. He offers one last, seemingly sincere apology, then shoves his senior off the high ledge. The man in blue crashes to the ground below. The impact echoes through the alley. He lies stunned on a wooden platform. Suddenly, a group of thugs surrounds him. Dazed, he weakly asks who they are. They drag him inside as the junior watches. The beating begins without a word. He screams, demanding to know why. A fist flies towards his face again. He can only beg them to stop. The junior stands over the brutal scene. A bloodied hand falls to the floor. The senior struggles, broken and defeated. His junior reveals his true, hateful face. The senior asks what he did to deserve this. He pleads, asking why he's hated so much. The junior kicks him for trying to rise above his station. He mocks him for believing hard work was enough. In this world, only power and family matter. He claims everyone at school hates him too. No one likes a nobody trying to rise up. The junior spits in disgust. A final act of contempt. His last advice, learn to grovel, not to write. The senior lies broken, with nothing left to say. He orders his men to finish the job. His thugs eagerly accept their orders. The heavy door slams shut behind him. Outside, he savors his moment of victory. He grips the handle, dismissing the act as nothing. This to him is the natural feel of power. But his actions have not gone unnoticed. The observer identifies the thugs as hired assassins. He's disgusted by the noble's dirty work. He lets out a heavy sigh. He'd always wanted a chance to hunt these brigands. He just didn't think it would be today. He leaps from his perch, but suddenly stops short. Something has caught his attention. A flash of movement enters the building. He's stunned by the speed of the newcomer. Inside, the thugs mock their helpless victim. Their orders are to make his death agonizing. The senior laments all the effort he's put in. He struggled so hard just to get this far. Now he's to die for a noble's petty whim. The thugs mock him for not fighting back. This wasn't the future he had dreamed of. He realizes you need status to make any change. A strange vision appears before his fading eyes. Suddenly, a woman grabs him by the hair. The thugs are stunned by her sudden arrival. She slaps him hard, demanding his attention. She can't believe he took down 5 exile clowns. She heard there were 2 culprits at the scene. She demands to know who his partner was. The thugs realize she's an exile clown too. They threaten to kill her for interfering. In a flash, she moves to strike. Her blade dances through the air, a blur of motion. He watches stunned as bodies hit the floor. She makes a dark joke about putting one on a leash. But then she pauses, sensing something else. The observer from the rooftop is hiding near. She scans the room, her senses on high alert. Now that it's quiet, she addresses William. The observer wonders why everyone wants William dead. He decides this situation is far too dangerous. She gets close, demanding to know his partner's name. A bloody blade is pressed against his throat. He has only seconds to answer or die. His mind flashes back to his friend Happy. Happy's words of friendship echo in his memory. Overwhelmed, William whispers his friend's name. He confesses that Happy is a former arena slave. The observer listens as William reveals everything. In a flashback, Happy decides to quit his old life. He even made a gift for his friend William. The assassin mocks him for being so weak, saying his family's death was pointless. William stares, horrified by her words. She explains their revenge targets the entire bloodline, and her boss is already at his house. His family is at home, completely unsuspecting. She turns to leave, now targeting Happy. William reaches out, desperate to stop her. Pure, unadulterated terror fills his eyes. He remembers Happy's genuine kindness. He remembers his friend's innocent laughter. He thinks of the family that took him in, the family that always kept him safe. His hand clenches into a tight fist, but he is helpless, bleeding on the floor. Defeated, he tells her to just kill him. He regrets his past weakness, his foolish choices. He survived alone, failing to protect anyone. His cowardice cost him friends, family, everyone. Surrounded by bodies, he lies defeated. A single thought cuts through the despair, chained. He pushes himself up, desperate for a chance. He'll do anything to protect those he loves. Grasping the sword, a dark power awakens. Suddenly, a man in red appears at the door. He peers inside, confused by the scene. He sees William, battered but standing tall. The man's eyes widen at the carnage. He screams, tripping backward out the door. His foot catches the edge of the stone step. He tumbles hard onto the cobblestone ground. Dazed, he looks up from the ground. A heavy boot steps into his view. Pure terror fills his eyes once more. He begs for mercy, mistaking William's state. He grovels, even licking William's boot. William looks down, simply telling him to leave. A swift kick sends the man flying. He lies on the ground, trembling in fear. But then he looks up, confused again. An older man, his father, arrives on scene. William taps the older man's shoulder. His eyes glow as he tells him to leave. The father's eyes widen in disbelief. Then his expression hardens with resolve. He takes a single, deliberate step back. The son watches his father confront William. William scoffs at their sudden deference. He realizes they only respect the sword. In this world, only violence earns a voice. This path of blood could have saved them all. The scene shifts to a family's home. A cheerful boy asks to see William. This is the home of William's friend. His friend's mother never believed the rumors. The father praises William's loyalty, but the little sister is jealous of their time together. The friend announces he's quitting bounty hunting. His sister lights up at the news. She might just forgive her brother now. The mother is relieved by his decision. His father praises his noble character, but the boy cheerfully reveals he's a slave. The entire family freezes in shock. The father dismisses it as a bad joke. The boy explains William helped because he's illiterate. The mother sits in stunned silence. The father repeats the word with disgust, a slave. He scorns the boy for daring to eat at their table. The warm family dinner turns cold and hostile. He orders the boy to disappear from their lives forever. The boy's cheerful demeanor completely shatters. His mother argues that he helped William, but the father insists kindness doesn't apply to slaves. To him, a slave is nothing more than property. A sudden knock echoes through the house. The little sister thinks her brother has returned. She runs to the door to greet him, but a menacing stranger is looking for William. She lies, saying he's not home. A single monstrous eye peers through the crack. Her terrified scream rips through the house. Outside, the intruders devise a new plan. They'll kill the parents to send a message in blood. The scarred man grabs the little sister. They'll use her body to lure William to the sewers. She struggles, crying out in pain. Her screams for her mother echo into the night. The family hears her cries from the dining room. The parents leap up and race to the door, but the boy just sits there, a dark smile on his face. The father grabs his wife, holding her back. A beast-like intruder threatens to kill them all. The father freezes, paralyzed by fear. He turns and sees the boy finally moving, but the boy is just smiling, a chilling grin. The father furiously blames him for everything. The boy calmly picks up his bowl of stew and hurls it at the intruder's face. The hot liquid blinds the beast-like man. He tells the father to protect his wife. The intruder wonders if this is William. He remembers the little girl's lie. His partner had warned him of a variable. The boy's strange words echo in his mind. He realizes this kid isn't his target. This must be the unknown factor. So you're the one who hunted us. The boy dodges the blade with a smirk. The intruder lunges, furious at the miss. But our boy moves like a shadow. He counters with a devastating kick. The blow lands with brutal force. He follows with a strike to the head. The intruder sees a demonic aura flare. The two of them clash in a blur of motion. The intruder realizes the boy predicted his every move. It's as if the kid can see right through him. He tries to regain control of the fight's rhythm. He unleashes a furious whirlwind of slashes. He resolves to use his full power here, but our boy simply stands there unimpressed. He calmly names the technique, sword dance. The intruder freezes in complete shock. His hand tightens around the hilt. He demands to know how the boy knows the name. The boy cheerfully says he knows a user. The intruder scoffs, claiming to know the true art. But our boy knows the founder was an old arena legend. The Beastman is completely lost. He recounts the legend of the founder's swordsmanship, and how a man named Lukasjan forced him into the arena. The intruder is baffled by this impossible story, but somehow the story sounds completely real. The boy taunts him, asking when he'll attack. Enraged, the intruder screams that he was already attacking. He creates a vortex of blades to trap the boy. Our boy just watches with a serene smile. You learned it wrong, the boy says calmly. The Beastman's eyes widen in disbelief. The boy's movements are a perfect mirror image. Every motion is perfectly matched, minus the sword. It's like the Beastman is fighting his own reflection. The boy explains sword dance's core, high-speed curves, but these curves are actually a defensive wall. He reveals the founder of the art was blind, so he created a style that covered every direction. The curves trap the enemy, revealing their position. Then the curve becomes a straight line, piercing through. This, he sneers, is the real sword dance. He grabs the intruder's sword hand and drives the man's own blade into his chest. The Beastman chokes, collapsing in agony. Our boy reveals Lukasjan gathered the world's legends, and he was always their final opponent. A brutal headbutt sends the intruder reeling. He pummels the man as the parents watch in terror. The intruder desperately grabs his arm. He warns that if he dies, the girl dies too. He confesses that they have taken Ellie. The boy's rage vanishes, replaced by a chilling smile. He yanks the terrified Beastman to his feet. Guide me, he commands, and the man agrees. He drags his new guide out of the room. The father watches them go, completely stunned. He can only apologize for his earlier mistake. The parents are left alone in the ruined room. The scene shifts to the city's dark alleys. Our boy follows his new guide through the streets. They descend into the city's sprawling sewer system. The Beastman reveals this was their plan all along. He smirks, wanting to see the kid's face before he dies. But our boy just gives him a terrifying grin. Meanwhile, William arrives, asking if Happy is here. The father can only stare in shock. He apologizes for his grave misunderstanding. Happy explains he's doing this for William. A flashback to his brutal past in the arena. Even the man who raised him called him a monster. With his dying breath, a small, empty child standing over the dead. But William saw his past and still called him a friend. He remembers the kindness of the farm people, too. For the first time, he's being treated like a human. He asks the father to tell Ellie not to worry. He vows to bring her back no matter what. William is furious, screaming at his father. He can't believe Happy just said to trust him. He knows this isn't right. This isn't a fight, it's a death sentence. He envisions Happy being executed by the exile clowns. He realizes Happy is trading his life for Ellie's. He grabs his sword, yelling to report the farm attack. The city guard mobilizes to intercept the armed man. A guard captain smirks at the strange news. He's shocked to learn the man is William. Reports confirm William killed a group of thugs. A guard bursts in, the exile clowns kidnapped a child. The captain drops his mug in disbelief. The child is William's and he's headed for the sewers. He questions why the clowns are suddenly so public. He connects it to William's bounty hunting fame. Their assassination failed, so they took his family. He curses himself for not anticipating this move. Nearly 100 clowns are waiting in the sewers. A subordinate reports another attack at the farm. He realizes it's a ploy to divide his men. He sends a small force, telling them to be fast. The captain, Happy, and the Beastman prepare for battle. He walks into the chamber, facing the entire gang. A chilling smile spreads across his face. He confirms his identity, a trail of bodies behind him. The epilogue begins with a close-up on a hand. A figure in red tosses a helmet at a guard. The figure sprints away, leaving the guard behind. The guard is left completely baffled. An exile clown taunts that he's raiding the farm. The guards report the attack, stunned by his speed. Meanwhile, the farm appears calm and unsuspecting. Inside, someone is carefully preparing herbs. It's William's wife, making medicine for Happy. She plans to make a tonic for pain and sleep, but her expression suddenly sharpens with alarm. The red-clad clown has already burst into her home. From the shadows, a pair of pink eyes watch. A mysterious swordsman observes the farm from afar. The scene shifts back to the sewers. The clown leader laughs at William's foolishness. He mocks him for thinking he could fight them alone. William knows he must fight until he dies. A demonic aura erupts as he charges forward. The leader watches, confident in his numbers. William opens with a bone-shattering punch. He follows with a powerful sweeping kick. Another fist connects, sending a thug flying. These first two blows signal the battle's start. The entire gang draws their weapons in response. A sea of killers rushes towards him. But William isn't here to compete this time. He grips his sword, vowing to save his daughter. He becomes a whirlwind of steel and blood. His blade cuts through the air with deadly speed. He carves a path through the frenzied mob. A thug screams, trying to draw him out. But William meets the attack head-on. His sword flashes, felling 2 men at once. He deflects multiple weapons in a single motion. A blur of motion, a dance of death. Suddenly, 2 thugs manage to trap him. He uses one as a shield, killing another. The floor is littered with his fallen enemies. Every parry is a desperate gamble. The killers are driven by bloodlust. A sharp blow makes him drop his sword. Disarmed, he unleashes a devastating kick. He sees only a sea of faceless monsters. The fight descends into pure, savage brutality. The leader realizes William isn't aiming to kill. He's using their bodies as a human shield. His focus is absolute, his plan methodical. He just needs to reach his daughter. The leader screams, ordering them to ignore the risk. He finishes one off, clearing his path. His men are now a wall of living and dead. The leader can't believe what's happening. Somehow one man is controlling the entire battle. The leader watches from a ledge, his eyes cold. He calmly loads a crossbow. The bolt is aimed directly at the child. Suddenly his eyes widen in surprise. He snarls, promising to show them real blood. Happy charges forward, ignoring his own wounds. The leader declares that he's too late. The crossbow bolt flies true. Happy reaches out, but he's too far away. The girl looks up, her eyes wide with fear. But William shields her, taking the arrow himself. Enraged, Happy leaps onto the wall. He grabs the stunned leader by the ankle and hurls him down to the stone floor. The leader crashes hard, dropping his weapon. Happy lands and sprints past his fallen foe. He tells the wounded William to stay back. The leader stares, asking if Happy is William. A flashback reveals William's true plan. He used Happy's rampage as the perfect cover. William apologizes as his sister calls his name. Happy tells him to protect Ellie and trust him. He turns back to the mob, a mad grin on his face. William can only watch, helpless and horrified. He holds his sister, witnessing a true massacre. Happy carves a bloody path through the mob. From the shadows, another crossbow is loaded. A scarred archer takes careful aim at Happy, but the bolt is deflected with a flick of a sword. The archer stares, completely bewildered. He realizes this is no coincidence. Happy reacts every time he even aims. It's as if he has eyes all over his body. From the alcove, William hears the screams. His eyes widen with a dawning horror. At first he thought Happy was just skilled, but then he started to truly wonder. Just how strong could one man be? And now he sees the terrifying answer. William realizes no one can defeat Happy. The archer questions if he's even human. He fires again, but the bolt is swatted aside. Happy cuts down another foe without even looking. He even strikes the leader on the ground. The leader lunges, grabbing his fallen weapon. He throws his cloak to blind the monster, then tries to bind Happy's arms. A veteran swordsman orders a full retreat. He charges in to face the monster himself, but his face fills with terror as their blades meet. The veteran's strength is nothing against Happy's. A wild, terrifying grin spreads across his face. They break apart, preparing for the final clash. Happy's assault is a blur of relentless strikes. The swordsman is disarmed, seeing his own death. He screams, refusing to let his story end here. His revenge against the kingdom was just beginning. He remembers being used as a worthless meat shield. He regrets the foolish path that led to this. For Happy, this is just another arena fight. He sees a man fueled by pure hatred. A memory surfaces of a mentor's question. He told the boy not to resent his past. Never live your life consumed by hatred, or you become a worse monster than them. The old words echo in his mind. He knows how this story always ends. The swordsman chokes on his own blood. It always ends in a pool of blood. From the alcove, William whispers, "We won." He stands, relief washing over him. The remaining exiles flee in absolute terror. William calls out to his savior, but the man who turns is not the same. He screams as Happy suddenly collapses. Happy lies on the ground, smiling at William. William stares back, tears streaming down his face. He worries the soldiers have already arrived. The guard captain finds the paths strangely unguarded. He sees his men standing idle, looking confused. Then he spots Happy among the field of bodies. He's stunned to see the exiles all defeated. An entire force was wiped out by one man. With their leader dead, the rest broke completely. The remaining exiles were hunted down as they fled. But the truth of that day was quickly distorted. A single soldier's tale began to spread like fire. William was hailed as the hero of the hour. The story echoes through the Knight's Order. It becomes the most popular tale in the taverns. Students at the university whisper his name. His legend grows among the common folk. The rumor of his deeds even reaches the king. William's name became famous before any official report, but before the rumors of a hero began. In the moments right after the fight, Happy was already running desperately for the farm. He pushed onward, his consciousness fading fast. In an epilogue, a prisoner speaks from his cell. The former guard captain is now the commander. The commander once respected him before he chose rebellion. The prisoner remembers his fall from war hero to exile. He claims his ruin was caused by one man. The commander asks if he means the legendary killer from 20 years ago. The prisoner reveals he was the sole survivor of that massacre. The memory of that day is burned into his mind. A man holding a newborn slaughtered an entire company. When he reported it, the king exiled him for the absurd tale. He became a laughingstock, the shame of the knights. Cursed as a coward and a traitor, he lost everything. And now that same monster has reappeared. He dares the commander to tell the king the same story. The commander remains silent, processing the revelation. The prisoner just wants to know who that monster truly is. With his questions unanswered, the commander leaves the cell. He walks away, lost in thought. He notes that in this incident, everyone was deliberately kept alive. A true monster wouldn't care about killing to win. He declares the prisoner was the only monster on that field. The story shifts back to the forest. Happy stumbles onward, running on fumes. He pushes through the agony, his vision blurring. A memory flashes, his guardian yelling at him to breathe. He remembers being told his opponent was too much for him. The guardian's eyes were filled with grim concern. In the arena, he knew he had to get stronger. His guardian questions his obsession with fighting. The boy doesn't answer. He's terrified of his father figure vanishing. He remembers his guardian, gravely wounded. A vision of him falling into an endless abyss. But Happy vows he won't let that happen. He'll take on every burden to protect him. The guardian's heart breaks for the boy. Happy begs him not to leave him alone. His guardian was his entire world. A memory of his guardian's final fall. The memory fuels his desperate push forward. He finally breaks through into a village. The town guards immediately surround him. He catches a blade with his bare hand. He disarms the soldier with impossible speed. He bolts past them deeper into the town. He crashes through the door of a tavern. Inside, a blonde woman turns to face him. He screams for her to get away as guards close in. But she runs towards him, grabbing him in a hug. He struggles against her embrace, confused. She holds him close, telling him it's okay. The commander arrives and halts his men. A final bloody memory of his guardian. A promise that his world will return. A single dark tear escapes Happy's eye. It traces a path down his skin. He reaches for a ghost in the sunset. Time passes as a candle burns down. And finally, the flame is extinguished. He wakes bandaged in a strange bed. The commander calls off the search for now. But from a tree, a wounded man watches. He thinks the boy should have died. Yet he admits he couldn't bear to see it. He's surprised by the kindness shown to him. He assumes the boy is too hurt to return. He and his partner must wait to move. The night is quiet, almost peaceful. But something watches from the darkness. A sudden rustle breaks the silence. The watcher's eyes snap open. A knight stands below, torch in hand. He reminds Sagar of their true mission, assassination. One more mistake will mean his death. The knight walks away, his threat hanging in the air. Sagar clenches his fist, his choice made for him. A storm gathers on the horizon. The storm passes, giving way to dawn. A new day breaks across the kingdom. A royal decree echoes through the streets. A messenger calls for a man named William, and another summons his partner, Happy Face. They are commanded to appear before the king. The crowd murmurs, shocked at a slave's rise. Inside the castle, William is prepared for court. He is dressed in the fine clothes of a noble. A courtier reveals the king's plan, knighthood. He must simply kneel and accept the honor. But William quietly says he is not qualified. The officials are stunned into silence. He confesses he accomplished nothing on his own. All the credit belongs to Happy, his partner. He apologizes, feeling he is unworthy of the title. The courtier simply smiles, unsurprised. He leans in, revealing the king already knows. But politics demand a more palatable story. They've crafted a tale of a brilliant, trustworthy hero. A secret he must now carry with him. He is left alone with the weight of the lie. Before the king, William kneels for the ceremony. An army of knights bears witness to his honor, and the crowd roars as he is made a knight. The king decrees Happy will be his apprentice. He expects great things from his new knight. Later, maids gossip about William's new status. William apologizes to Happy for the whole mess, but Happy insists William saved them all. He admits he's naive and can't read situations. A dark memory begins to surface. He recalls his ignorance about bandits on the road. He remembers freezing when his family was attacked. He confesses he's only good for fighting. He calls William one of the strongest people he knows. His strength is decisiveness, not just physical power. Happy wants them to stay true to themselves. William is moved by his partner's trust. Happy is certain they will become true friends. William makes a silent, determined vow. He decides to become the hero they need him to be. He asks Happy to teach him how to fight. Happy's eyes widen with excitement. He eagerly agrees to teach him everything. Their first stop, the knight's training grounds. But the other apprentices are not welcoming. A blonde apprentice shouts in protest. He smashes his sword, refusing to accept Happy. The challenge has been thrown down. The apprentice vows to prove Happy is worthless. William pleads with him to stop the madness. But the apprentice turns on William himself. He brings up the recent battle with the clowns. He calls William a true hero, worthy of praise. But Happy is just an untrained, low-born fool. William is stunned by the sheer hatred. The apprentice sees this as proof of his theory. He promises to break Happy and make him quit. But Happy steps forward, completely unfazed. The two face off in the training arena. With a grin, Happy readies his wooden sword. The other apprentices mock his clumsy stance. The challenger warns this isn't a gentle spar. He brings his sword down in a vicious arc. He feints, striking Happy across the jaw. He taunts him, calling it an honor for a slave. Happy stumbles back but keeps on smiling. Another brutal blow lands on his shoulder. William realizes Happy is just taking the hits. The apprentice screams for him to beg. Happy dodges, his sword flying into the air. He lands perfectly, catching the hilt. The apprentice freezes, completely stunned. He collapses to the ground, utterly defeated. The other apprentices erupt in fury. But William knows the truth. Happy blocked every attack, showing mercy. The defeated apprentice weeps in agony. That one punch was worse than years of training. In his mind, Happy is a terrifying demon. He remembers Happy's words about enduring pain. A chilling smile asks if he came to win. Then endure it, the memory commands. The apprentice is shaken by this new philosophy. But he refuses to learn from a slave. With a grin, Happy had announced his attack. The apprentice braced for the blow, and his wooden sword shattered on impact. A furious voice suddenly cuts in. An instructor holds the broken blade to his throat. He storms into the arena, enraged. He declares that he personally chose these two. He asks if anyone questions his decision. The apprentice screams his denial. The other trainees are frozen with. The instructor gives a single command, dismissed. The apprentices scramble to get away. The man now faces Happy and William. He reveals their true purpose in the order. He explains their role is simply for show. William realizes they're just poster boys for the order. But he asks to at least observe the training. The instructor is confused by his strange request. William refuses to live a lie, knowing a test will come. He vows to become strong in both mind and body. A flicker of respect shows on the instructor's face. The king's political pawn shows true warrior spirit. He then asks if Happy shares this resolve. With a wide grin, Happy confirms their pact. Elsewhere, the instructor discusses Happy's origins. His subordinate reports the arena was full of strong fighters. Happy survived by learning from legendary war prisoners. The subordinate finishes presenting his findings. The instructor wishes he could question Happy's dead master. The official ledger lists Happy's origin as unknown. They could find more clues in his master's territories. The instructor questions his subordinate's deep interest. He reveals a chilling connection to a past tragedy. For now, he'll put the investigation on hold. But he has a feeling these two will cause trouble. He observes them, noting their strange bond. One has the potential to grow, the other has pure skill. He feels his own dormant fighting spirit reawaken. He grants their request to observe the training. A quiet home in the countryside. Happy returns home an apprentice knight. His grandparents are stunned by the news. He's officially a free citizen now. He also brings them a hefty reward. The old man is ecstatic, but she's overwhelmed. He asks to go train with William. He dashes off, promising to help later. They watch him go, their lucky charm. From the start, they pushed for growth. They arrive at the training grounds. Happy tells William to observe carefully. He points out the top fighter in the yard. He tells him to watch the footwork instead, to feel the shift in the center of gravity. William absorbs every word, his focus absolute. He sees at first the stance, then the blade. The fighter's timing is always half a beat faster. Happy praises his sharp, analytical mind. The trainees feel an intense gaze on them. Their training extends to the royal library. William teaches Happy how to read. He moves on to teaching him sentences. Happy reads a complex sentence perfectly. William is stunned. How did you know that? Happy grins, saying he just felt the flow. He applies his new knowledge to tell time. He even solves complex logistical problems. William is floored. Happy is a natural genius. Happy's voice snaps him from his thoughts. William decides to end the lesson for the day. Happy looks up, finally noticing the sky. He's shocked to see it's already night. He dashes off, excited for their next session. William watches him go, a fire in his eyes. He vows he won't fall too far behind. Elsewhere, a young woman works late. She worries about walking home alone at night. She wonders what happened to Happy. Exhausted, she just wants to go home. Suddenly, a knock echoes at the door. She calls out that the shop is closed. A familiar voice answers from the other side. Happy stands there, smiling, here to get her. He escorts her through the dark streets. He tells her about a celebration dinner. The woman is confused by his words. She realizes the good news is about him. He proudly announces his new status. She's stunned by his incredible promotion. She's overwhelmed, wanting to repay his kindness. But he says her happiness is his reward. She knows his grandma must be proud too. He says she was sure only good things will happen. His smile holds a quiet, determined weight. He promises Winnie he'll always protect her. She's stunned by his sudden, serious vow. He turns to lead the way through the night. Winnie reaches out, placing a hand on his back. Happy looks back, a question in his eyes. She thanks him, admitting she finally has hope. Her confession catches him completely off guard. As they walk, she asks about his medicine. He assures her he's getting better. Suddenly, her grandfather calls out from a feast. Winnie looks on, completely bewildered. A massive celebration is happening at their farm. She confronts her grandpa, thinking he's overdoing it. A man congratulates Happy on joining the Knights. Winnie is shocked this was a family meal, but her grandpa invited the entire town. She demands to know where the money came from. He spent all the reward money, he says. Happy explains it was his appointment bonus. The whole town celebrates spending Happy's money. The villagers call for a toast from the elder. Her grandfather laughs, ready to make a speech. He raises a glass to Happy, the future knight. Happy claps along, swept up in the joy. The celebration continues under the starry sky. Winnie watches as everyone congratulates him. She sits with her grandparents, asking why. He explains Happy's past will always follow him. Many in the kingdom will never accept him. So this party is a public declaration. To curse Happy is to curse their family. Happy showed his loyalty to them first. Winnie finally understands their true motive. They must show him what a real family is. He's surrounded by friends truly at home. Winnie watches him, her heart full. A familiar face calls out his name. Happy greets William, inviting him to eat. But William has brought someone with him. The man who once scorned him steps forward. He apologizes for his past foolishness. Happy listens, taking in his words. He smiles, saying he never held a grudge. The man's family watches the reconciliation. His daughter thanks him for saving her life. The party continues with a call for a toast. But away from the joy, a man sits brooding. He seethes with hatred for Winnie's grandfather. His elder companion offers him empty encouragement. The old man leaves to fetch more drinks. The younger man, Sagar, watches him go. A hooded figure appears from the shadows. The date for their plan has been set. During the night's tournament, they will assassinate the king. 2 months later, the tournament begins. The arena is packed with eager spectators. Thousands have gathered for the annual event. The top 10 official knights are chosen to compete, along with the top 10 apprentice knights. It's a chance for apprentices to prove themselves. They face off against seasoned warriors. A good showing guarantees a path to knighthood. Happy studies the selection notice with interest. A smug apprentice approaches him from behind. He mocks Happy for being unable to read. He tells Happy to forget about participating. His noble family is sponsoring the entire event. He declares the tournament is his personal stage, and he won't have a slave ruining it. The insult strikes a deep nerve. He claims all noble families want him out. But another apprentice remembers a different story. He recalls Happy utterly humiliating a rival. The defeated boy was weaker than a baby. Happy grins, their taunts only fuel his desire. The smug apprentice is taken aback. He quickly regains his arrogant composure. He dismisses Happy, saying he'll never qualify. His group walks off, laughing at our boy. A friend sits with Happy to explain something. For the first time, there's a written exam, a test of knowledge before any combat evaluation. He believes it's a trap to exclude Happy. Elsewhere, the bully approaches another top apprentice. He offers him the answers to the exam. The blonde apprentice proudly refuses the cheat sheet, but the bully threatens his family's perfect record. The weight of his family's honor is heavy. He reluctantly takes the answers. The bully smirks, his manipulation a success. He speaks of allied families sharing the glory. Back with Happy, his smile is unwavering. His friend stares at the announcement, thinking. He asks Happy if he truly wants to try. With only a week, catching up is impossible. Happy's smile is wide, he asks if it's possible. His friend explains his own academic success. He thinks they can predict the questions, but the odds are slim. Even that small chance requires absolute dedication. Happy listens, his resolve hardening. A week later, Happy passes the exam by a single point. With the tournament next, his victory causes outrage. The bully accuses Happy of cheating to his father. Noble families are furious their sons lost to a slave. But a few recall his late-night studies, feeling ashamed. The examiners review the subjective evaluations. His answers echo the values of old war heroes. He explains his tactics are not for taking life, but for saving it. One examiner is visibly moved by his philosophy, but another reminds him of the host's orders to fail Happy. The moved examiner falls silent, conflicted. He decides he must do something, however small. He grants Happy a single special bonus point. The examiner admits he's changed his mind about the boy. He realized Happy was more than just a simple fighter. He finally understands why Lukashjan protected him. Now he wants to see Happy's journey unfold. Happy asks his friend William about the tournament, but William refuses, fearing his identity will be exposed. Happy asks what he would do if he were strong enough. Elsewhere, the rivals mock Happy for even practicing. They see William coaching him, feeling a pang of jealousy. But one scoffs, calling Happy's swordsmanship utter trash. The bully vows to shatter his limbs in the tournament. He leads his cronies away, laughing at the pathetic display. Happy excitedly points out he's copying William's moves. William realizes they were just insulting his own posture. He facepalms, seeing the flaw in his own movements. Happy proposes a solution, they'll spar to fix it. He'll perfectly mirror William to show him his weaknesses. The challenge is set, 1 month to defeat him. William is stunned, questioning if that's even possible. Happy offers a wooden sword, ready to begin. The other trainees relax, skipping their own practice. But William is now training, predicting Happy's moves. He unleashes a furious barrage of strikes. Their wooden swords clash in a rapid exchange. William advances with swift, confident footwork. But Happy points out his timing is off, wasting energy. William must dodge, defend, and gauge distance at once. Through sparring, he's finally starting to understand. This isn't a brawl, it's a game of strategy. He realizes this is the world Happy has always fought in. For the first time, William sees the fight with clarity. A wooden sword slices down toward his head. William sees the opening, a split second to react. But he senses something is wrong with the attack. The swing is a feint, deliberately short. He commits to a counter, the only right answer. But the feint was a thrust, now at his throat. He's completely caught off guard by the move. A feint slash turned into a perfect thrust. He lets out a breath, defeated once again. But a grin spreads across his face. It's the look of a man obsessed with improving. His expression begins to mirror Happy's own. Happy declares his 313th victory. He congratulates William, whose form crumbles to dust. The real William stands, drenched in sweat. He admits he only won by a razor's edge. A month of brutal training has finally passed. The tournament is just 1 day away. All this time, Happy perfectly mirrored his every flaw. He even copied his old shoulder injury. Happy suggests they rest for the big day. William agrees, a calm look on his face. But his guardian appears, forbidding him from competing. He's to sit by the king, a mere observer. His guardian fears his true skills would be exposed. William remains silent, his resolve hardening. He knows a month of training isn't enough, but he insists on entering the tournament anyway. He must face his own weakness head-on. His guardian calls him unexpectedly stubborn. The argument ends with a frustrated sigh. The next day the sun rises bright. It's the day of the evaluation tournament. A sponsoring noble feigns a call for fairness. The first evaluation tournament is underway. William's first match is against the rank 2 knight. It's only an exhibition to explain the rules. The guardian tells the knight to go easy. He claims William has never even held a sword. He orders the knight to end it quickly. The knight agrees to the staged fight. He wonders about Happy's true skill level. He suddenly attacks before the signal is given. The referee shouts that the match hasn't started. William plays the part of a nervous rookie. The other knights mock his clumsy rookie mistake, but his opponent is sweating, unnerved. The guardian watches, confused by the knight's fear. He never expected this turn of events. The match begins, his true power a mystery. He once vowed to master both pen and sword. He dodges a strike with impossible speed. The knight's attack meets only empty air. The crowd is baffled, but Happy understands. He remembers training with William. He saw William creating a perfect swordsmanship. It was a style completely unique to him. Even Happy struggled to keep up with it. The guardian observes he's not particularly fast, nor is he overwhelmingly strong. Their blades lock in a test of will, but his judgment is flawless, his counters precise. A clean strike lands on the knight's head. He demonstrates top-level decision-making. His technique looks standard at first, then he attacks like a seasoned veteran. The crowd forgets this is just an exhibition. The knight could end this with a single move, but he remembers the order to go easy. His hands tremble, holding back his strength. William notices his opponent's hesitation. His eyes narrow with cold disappointment. He knows the knight is holding back. He wanted a real fight, not a staged loss, so he decides to give it his absolute all. But before he can, his opponent raises a hand. The knight suddenly forfeits the match. An official announces the exhibition is over. The fighters exchange a final salute. William clenches his fist, trembling with frustration. This unsatisfying victory feels like a loss. He blames himself for not drawing out his opponent's best. A senior knight is impressed by William's growth. He assumes the forfeit was just good acting, but the knight insists he couldn't continue. His leg is shaking uncontrollably. He explains William's strategy from the start. Every move was designed to strain his ankle. The knight admits his defeat was genuine. In the crowd, Happy discusses the fight's nuances. He speculates William was baiting a strong attack. A smiling stranger confirms his theory. Happy and his friend are stunned by the interruption. The friend angrily confronts the newcomer, but the boy's innocent smile disarms him. The friend feels a strange fondness for the kid. His harmless expression makes it hard to stay mad. Still, he's annoyed by the boy's familiar tone. The newcomer praises William as a sincere teacher. The friend's jealousy surfaces, blaming his own failures. The boy offers a chance to train with William. The friend is stunned by the suggestion. He tries to play it cool, hiding his panic. He scoffs, insulting the newcomer's skill. Happy eagerly volunteers to join instead. The smiling boy raises his hand to join too. Suddenly, the whole crowd wants in on the training. The friend erupts in jealous fury, refusing to beg a servant. The commotion draws a massive crowd. A smug onlooker notes their hypocrisy. After 33 evaluations, the final matches begin. A trumpet fanfare announces the next fighter. The smug man steps forward, soaking it in. The judges are divided by his theatrics. Other nobles sneer at the spoiled son. He vows to eliminate the unworthy first. He points at the smiling boy, calling him livestock. A senior knight is disgusted by the insult, but his father praises his son's intolerance for filth. The two are set to face off in the ring. The arrogant noble can't wait to tear him apart. In the crowd, the blonde friend turns to Finn. He asks about Finn's previous fight with the bull. Finn panics, caught completely off guard. The friend reveals he witnessed that match. Finn screams in denial, refusing to admit the truth. The friend recalls their fight, sensing something was off. He was certain Happy was holding back his power. He asks Finn what he felt, but Finn just gets angry. The friend presses, "Could you win a rematch?" Finn is frozen, a cold sweat on his brow. He remembers the terrifying, demonic aura around Happy. The friend says Happy feels like he's from another world. Finn scoffs, dismissing him as just a dumb kid. But this next match will reveal everything. A flashback to the newcomer's advice for Happy. He told him to only use proper swordsmanship. The judges would never acknowledge his brawling style. He must show them absolute domination from the start. The newcomer saw this as a golden opportunity, a chance to shatter their perception of him as a slave. He smiles, completely confident in Happy's potential. "This stage was made for you," he says. Back in the present, Happy grips his sword, ready. The arrogant noble mocks his stance as merely decent. He smirks, believing that's all Happy has. His father cheers from the stands, offering a reward. Happy announces a basic swordsmanship technique. A wooden sword cracks against the noble's face. He's instantly pinned to the ground, stunned. The noble flashes back to his grueling training, but Happy remembers his own, smiling through it. The noble was always pushed to his absolute limit, his wooden sword shattering under the strain. He snaps back to reality, dazed on the ground. Blood trickles down from a gash on his forehead. The crowd is stunned silent as Happy stands over him. The judges unanimously award him a perfect score. Finn and his friend can't believe the clean victory. In the stands, the noble's father seethes with rage, but the referee waves a flag, ordering them to continue. The newcomer and head judge are shocked by the call. The referee's thoughts reveal his corruption. He took a bribe to ensure the noble wins the match. He urges the noble to just land a single graze. The noble rises, screaming that he was just careless. The newcomer watches, worried about this blatant cheating. The noble believes he's figured out Happy's only trick. He prepares to dodge the thrust and counterattack, but Happy just smacks him in the face again. The noble stumbles back, completely outmatched. He desperately claims his real skills are yet to come. Happy's sword descends for another clean strike. It lands squarely on the noble's shoulder. Another blow connects, breaking his stance completely. The referee desperately tries to stop the fight. The noble is completely disoriented, unable to comprehend. The newcomer sees the massive difference in skill, but the head judge knew this was a perfect victory. In the stands, the noble's father is in denial. Happy just smiles, waiting for him to get up. Finn wonders why he isn't ending the fight. By the rules, the noble should be out cold, but Happy has a different plan in mind. He recalls a conversation with his opponent. He told him he was actually bottom tier. The noble was furious at the insult. Happy explains he's observed everyone's training. His fighting spirit intimidates weaker opponents, but it's a bluff they could have easily called. The newcomer realizes Happy said the same to him. Enraged, the noble refuses to listen. He grips his sword, his pride shattered. A final desperate charge is his only option. Happy sees that his spirit is finally broken. The noble swings with everything he has left, but Happy's counter is already in motion. His wooden sword shatters on impact. The head judge sees the final blow land. He knows Happy planned this from the start. The noble stares at his shattered wooden sword. Its splintered end is buried in the dirt. Happy offers to continue the fight with fists, but the judge calls the match. Happy wins. In the stands, his father reels in fury. The defeated noble weeps into the dust. The judge lectures him for his arrogant behavior. Happy recalls complaining to Finn about the theatrics. Finn explained this was about proving his character. Now in the arena, he finally understands. The apprentices begin to applaud one by one. Soon, the entire crowd acknowledges his victory. A genuine, beaming smile spreads across his face. From the sidelines, Finn gives a knowing thumbs, but a voice from the crowd calls for another duel. Happy turns, caught completely off guard. A blonde apprentice challenges him to a match. The head judge sees the tournament descending into chaos. The host stormed off after his son's defeat. The other judges were clearly bribed. Now apprentices are ignoring all protocol. He wonders if everyone has gone completely mad. He wants to scrap everything and start over. But he realizes this is what the people want. Every eye is fixed on the ring, demanding more. The head judge gives his final verdict, proceed. The challenger says the last opponent was just hot air. He wants a proper duel to test Happy's abilities. He demands Happy come at him with full force. A friend is shocked by this sudden, intense change. Happy's performance is now inspiring everyone. The blonde apprentice grips his sword, knuckles white. He unleashes a powerful, sweeping first strike. Happy parries the blow with a wild grin. The challenger presses his attack in a blur. Happy's eyes track every single movement. Their wooden swords clash in a furious exchange. A spectator realizes this skill is beyond apprentice level. He sees a fighter with an unbreakable foundation. The two warriors clash in the center ring. The challenger is impressed by Happy's clean technique. He acknowledges his opponent is no ordinary fighter, but he claims his own foundation is far more solid. He leaps in, promising not to go easy. Happy sees what looks like perfect, flawless swordsmanship. The challenger is confused by his opponent's reaction, but Happy sees a fatal flaw in this perfection. In a flash, something inside him awakens. The judge leans forward, sensing something is wrong. Happy stands over his defeated foe, asking if he's okay. The challenger collapses, clutching his throat, but Happy grins, saying he only fainted. His opponent is completely bewildered. A flashback reveals the moment of defeat. Happy didn't use his blade at all. He struck him with the handle of his sword. The challenger touches his bruised neck, stunned. Happy explains the fatal flaw in his style. His training was too repetitive, too perfect. Real battles are won by unexpected moves. The challenger feels his entire world collapsing. But Happy says he just broke the mold. The defeated apprentice looks up in confusion. He's shown a vision of a true battlefield. Happy apologizes to William for his methods. William smiles, having found him new sparring partners. Now everyone wants a piece of our boy. A document confirms Happy's entry into the tournament. An older man bows with deep respect. A powerful figure watches from the side. He gives a small knowing smile. In town, people prepare for the big day. A family discusses who they'll be cheering for. The little girl shouts she's there for Happy. Elsewhere, another warrior prepares for battle. A secret message orders an assassination. His master, a gravedigger, questions him. The young warrior quickly hides the note. He tries to change the subject. The old man dismisses it but has a gift. He presents the young man with an amulet. It's a charm meant to ward off the dead. A reward for his work in the graveyard. The warrior accepts it, feeling its significance. But the master reminds him work comes first. Elsewhere, a thick fog covers the forest. A knight in full armor receives his orders. Another soldier calls out to him in alarm. He screams about an assassin's attack. The red-eyed knight remains perfectly still. His companion begs him to run for help, but in a flash he's cut down. The silent knight watches him fall. A woman stands over the bodies of the fallen. She declares her next target is the king. A flashback reveals the start of this plot. It began when the exile clown's boss was jailed. In a dark cell, he's brutally tortured. His captor demands to know about a royal. The prisoner whispers a name, Lucastion. The prisoner hangs limp in his chains. His captor says Lucastion wasn't a noble. He confessed to false crimes to protect the king. The case was closed, but they seek the truth. The prisoner demands to know who they are. The knight grabs him by the jaw. He reveals he's not from the official knight order. His group also planned to kill the royal family, but the clown's attack nearly exposed them all. They planted a royal corpse to misdirect the search. One more mistake will ruin their entire plan. The prisoner realizes assassins are everywhere. The kingdom was already rotting from within. The knight offers him glory for the truth. The prisoner hesitates, then makes a choice. He gives up a name, Kalina. She was an outsider who joined their cause. A flashback shows her asking to join the plot. They gave her intel and she captured a royal. She dragged him to the sewers and sold him. The royal's claims are mocked in the arena. Kalina watches from the crowd, eating raw meat. The knight demands to know her motives. The prisoner admits she told them nothing. She once said killing a pig needs no reason. The flashback continues. Kalina faces the knight. He says they should have tracked her down sooner. She feigns ignorance, asking if she knows him. Her eyes narrow in confusion. Without a word, the knight draws a dagger. He throws it with deadly precision, but she parries it with her own blade. She notices his weapon isn't standard knight gear. This man is no ordinary knight. He unleashes a vicious chain from his arm. She dodges the attack, confirming her suspicion. She decides to see the face beneath the armor. The knight is caught completely off guard. In a flash, she slices through His helmet is knocked clean off his head. Kalina mocks his disfigured face. His skin is a mask of scars and burns. She holds a blade to his throat. He reveals he's from a group that shares her goals. He warns her that causing chaos will ruin their plans. She smirks, doubting they can succeed where she has. He claims the king's assassination is already set. Kalina finds his story hard to believe. She makes a demand, let her join the plot. He says their cult leader will decide her fate. Kalina is brought before the cult's leader. He accepts her into their ranks. She submits to his authority. The leader gives her a new mission. She must find his son and serve him. Kalina is confused by the command. The scene shifts to a laborer named Sagar. Kalina finds him, asking if he's the one. She declares she's staying until the tournament. Only 3 days remain until the event. Elsewhere, a group of nobles conspires. They worry about the ceremony's integrity. One is outraged by commoner participants. Another argues the scholar William is different. His heroic deeds have earned him respect. But one man plants a seed of doubt. He suggests they've all been fooled by a lie. The others are stunned by the accusation. They can't believe William's achievements are fake. The plotter claims a mere slave did the work. He is warned to be certain of his words. He reveals his son has inside information. The slave's name is Happy, the arena champion. The truth of the matter is laid bare. A weakling suddenly became an unstoppable killer. Guard testimony confirms William just took the credit. Another noble adds his own intel. His son heard William has never held a sword. The duel must have been staged too. The conspiracy gains momentum around the table. The slave Happy was famous in the arena, but his fans went silent after the royal incident. Their true target is the fake hero William, but attacking him is a risk to them all. The plotter reveals his devious plan. Hired thugs will take a noble hostage. They'll demand William prove his heroism again. It's a perfect trap with no escape. The nobles eagerly agree to the scheme. Meanwhile, Happy enjoys a peaceful day. He shakes a tree with all his might, sending chestnuts raining from the sky. He and the girl gather them in a basket. They toss the spiky shells into a fire, roasting them over the open flames. They crack the hot shells underfoot, revealing the cooked chestnuts inside. The two enjoy their simple, happy meal. A woman thanks Happy for helping her, but the girl just wanted to play with him. The blonde character notes how easily they find joy in falling leaves. The man and girl laugh, celebrating the raining leaves moment. The man calls Ellie home, waving goodbye to Happy and the blonde. The blonde says they will head back first, wishing safety. The girl promises to dress up and cheer for them tomorrow. The remaining pair watch the fire crackle, the mood turning contemplative. The man asks about the blonde's feelings regarding the upcoming tournament. The blonde replies positively, happy that many will attend the event. The man questions if being in the Night Order is difficult. He mentions not speaking up because the circumstances were unavoidable. He emphasizes that the battles fought were not ones the blonde desired. The blonde reflects that he lived fighting unwanted battles his whole life. He concludes the Night Order is just a place to practice such fighting. The blonde notes his pain healed and reasons for fighting are gone now. Yet he feels things keep flowing in the same direction regardless. The man happily states this new life is very different from the arena. He recalls people dying in the arena even when he did not want them to. He remembers even haters leaving with meaningless expressions after fights. The man beams, stating that here everyone stays and builds a future. He likes this life because of the chance to know each other better. The blonde agrees, admitting relief that things seem okay now. He believes the Night Order won't see big fights resulting in death. He notes the long peace followed many sacrifices made by their parents' generation. The man shouts excitedly that grandma bought meat and they should go now. The scene shifts to the next day, tournament day, showing the grand venue. The blonde woman intercepts a strange messenger, but the hooded man refuses her help. He departs alone, his mission unchanged. 1 hour until the tournament begins. The king awaits his children's arrival. A knight captain gives his subordinate final advice. Imperial guards stand watch over the grounds. The apprentices line up, ready for the competition. In the stands, Ellie cheers for brother Happy. His found family waves, wishing him luck. But other nobles watch with grim expressions. Hidden in the woods, 2 figures observe the arena. Elsewhere, a captured noble reveals a fake kidnapping plot. The old messenger realizes his targets are at the tournament. Far from the cheers, a dark plan is in motion. An attendant enters the prince's chambers. His eyes fly open in absolute terror. He finds a room of slaughter. The duke stands over the bodies, his blade dripping. The last witness is silenced. Back in the bushes, the observers talk strategy. She recalls him attacking her at the farm. She scoffs at the idea of William becoming a knight. He reveals William's achievements were faked. She smirks, knowing he was never a hero. He admits he expected to kill William. She smirks, asking why he thought that. His past was ruthless and William was too involved. She dismisses his cruelty as just his style. He's confused by her strange comment. She calls him a scared puppy. She points towards other figures in the distance. As she moves, he questions her actions. Suddenly, her fist flies at his face. A brutal strike sends him reeling. Another conspirator watches in shock. She's going to kill the noble's mercenaries. He insists their only goal is royal assassination. She reminds him he tried to kill her once. She claims he doesn't understand the real objective. Their mission is far bigger than killing the king. Their agents are embedded everywhere in the kingdom. Why attack in broad daylight for all to see? This isn't an assassination, it's a slaughter. The true order: kill as many as possible. He refuses to believe her wild assumptions. She mocks him for blindly following orders. She reveals an order taken from a colleague. Did his orders mention the day of slaughter? He's stunned into silence by the revelation. She smirks, confirming his orders were a lie. She claims his leader is deceiving everyone. With that, she leaves him to his thoughts. He grips his sword, his resolve hardening. Elsewhere, another group of assassins prepares. One of them seems nervous about the plan. A captive noble promises they'll be pardoned. The name William gives the young assassin pause, but the noble urges them to move quickly. Meanwhile, in the royal stands, a noble falls ill. He complains of a sudden, intense stomach ache. A knight escorts him away from the stands. The noble asks to be taken to the toilets. He's clearly in a great deal of pain. The knight leads him far from the crowd. The knight suggests a more secluded spot. Suddenly, a dark figure appears behind him. The noble is brutally struck down from behind. His body is dragged silently into the woods. A shout rings out declaring an attack. The knight turns back toward the arena. Assassins hold a noble hostage, demanding a duel. Another victim claims the nobles are all captured. The crowd urges William to be a hero. William and his commander look on, sensing a trap. The captive noble begs pitifully for his life. His over-the-top acting confuses the assassins. Even the nobles in the stands cringe at the performance. The assassins realize the entire plan is falling apart. The commander knows it's a scheme but questions the risk. The crowd just assumes it's part of the show. He tells William to stand down and let the king handle it. From his throne, the king demands to know who is responsible. The nobles involved in the plot remain silent. The mysterious woman sighs, having followed William here. She draws her blade, annoyed the plan went wrong. In a flash, she severs the noble's fingers. The man stares down in complete shock. His agonizing screams finally silence the crowd. She gives them an ultimatum: send William or die. William watches the chaos, his expression hardening. The young assassin from before smirks at the turn of events. The woman declares the slaughter will begin now. The true mastermind orders the massacre to commence. A flashback reveals the young assassin's past trauma. He had nightmares of her victims wearing his family's faces. He saw himself sitting among their severed heads. Her voice echoes their creed: kill the entire bloodline. He remembers the constant fear while she was a fugitive. He would wake up every night to check on his family. He chose to focus on what he could control. That meant becoming stronger no matter the cost. William steps forward, glad she targeted him first. The commander warns the king of his imminent death. The king knows someone will die either way. He can only hope his decision is the right one. The commander watches with intense focus. He wonders if William trained for this very moment. He recalls dismissing William's stubbornness as childish. Now he sees that same stubbornness as the answer. The assassins in the ring are completely baffled. Even the woman with the blade seems confused. She whips her blade towards a hostage noble. She threatens to execute all nobles with one signal. The terrified noble screams to call off the plan, but one of the actors punches him in the face. The noble is left stunned and bleeding. The actor tells him to shut up and see the reality. Their fake play has just become deadly real. He tells the noble he's a real hostage now. The other conspirators watch in utter confusion. They realize the situation is spiraling out of control. They start accusing each other of hiring real killers. The mastermind of the plot is completely lost. A guard gathers his men to rescue the nobles. The mastermind is quietly led away by guards. A blonde man stops his friend from joining. He warns that interfering will doom them all. But William is confident he will win this fight. The man in the crowd just smirks. He admits William's skills have improved, but he knows the kid can't use his full power here. He's facing the one who broke him before. The assassin taunts him, calling him a scared puppy. She mocks his heroics, but he vows to end her. His defiance surprises her, a flicker of amusement. She decides to humor him with a fight. She explodes forward in a blur of motion. He barely blocks a devastating high kick. She rebounds off a wall for another strike. He's already cut, struggling to keep pace. She gives him no time to recover. His training kicks in, think of the next move. But she knows he won't have time. A flurry of strikes rains down on him. She whispers a single word: below. An upward slash catches him completely off guard. She claims she just saved his life. Blood streams down William's face. His friends can only watch as he stumbles. He desperately blocks, but she's just toying with him. A powerful blow sends William stumbling back. Despair sets in, he knows he's going to die. She mocks him, calling him a scared puppy again. She turns her back, the fight seemingly over. She promises she won't kill him today. But a surprise counterattack comes from a new fighter. The blade sinks into her shoulder, catching her off guard. Her attacker is a smiling, curly-haired man. William dons a mask, joining the sudden counterattack. He lunges forward while she's reeling from the stab. The combined assault sends her stumbling backward. It was all a trap, even his fear was an act. The crowd roars his name, sensing a major upset. On the ground, she can't process what just happened. She's stunned. The trembling boy now holds her life. He exploited the opening created by her arrogance. He and his surprise ally stand victorious. Dazed and bleeding, she watches her allies get rounded up. The captured clowns confess they were hired by nobles. In the stands, a noble demands their execution. The captive exposes the noble who hired them to harm William. The noble frantically denies the accusation, calling it a lie. But the man keeps confessing, begging for mercy. The noble's face twists in fury, his plot exposed. The crowd murmurs, sensing the shift in power. From the royal box, the king demands an explanation. His advisor leans in, sensing something is terribly wrong. He reports that the other royals have all vanished. The king shoots to his feet in disbelief. He demands to know where his troops have gone. A guard says the commander left to rescue nobles. The advisor orders him found, fearing the worst. A lone bird takes flight from the arena. It soars over the forest, leaving the chaos behind. Its sharp eye scans the ground below. The bird spots a lone figure near a cave. A soldier arrives, calling for his commander. He peers into the darkness, seeing a silhouette. Inside, the commander stands over a massacre. The soldier stammers, horrified by the carnage. The commander reveals a hidden force was responsible. The soldier asks where the attackers went. They must hurry back to warn the tournament grounds. But an ambush cuts them down from the trees. Back in the arena, the defeated woman calls to William. She warns him that everyone there is about to die. William is confused by her sudden warning. She confesses she only fought him to save him. He realizes there's a much larger threat at play. She confirms the exile clowns have already fallen. Their defeat was just a diversion for a much larger plot. He doesn't understand, as assassins wait in the crowd. She declares the day of slaughter has finally arrived. In the royal box, a guard approaches the king's advisor. Suddenly, the guard turns on him with a halberd. The woman warns that the king is the first to die. The advisor reveals his treachery, impaling the king. The king falls, brutally struck down by his own man. And then she warns everyone else will die. Throughout the stands, the slaughter begins. A noble cries out for weapons, realizing they've vanished. He's immediately stabbed from behind by a traitor. The bloody massacre spreads across the field. A man screams in horror for his friend Finn. He warns everyone that traitors are among them. A terrified woman begs a knight for help, but the knight is caught off guard as she attacks. The assassin, dagger dripping, declares a new world has begun. Another knight falls as the conspirators watch the chaos. William watches in shock as the massacre unfolds. He can't just stand by, he leaps into the fray. He lands a heavy blow, saving a civilian. He pulls the woman up, urging her to escape. William stands alone, surrounded by a sea of traitors. The man in red urges his companion to flee. An assassin grabs a little girl, dagger raised high. But a fist crashes into the killer's face. A blonde boy intercepts another assassin's blade. The man in red drives his own knife into the traitor. They stand together, a small island of defiance. Elsewhere, a loyal knight carries the king to safety. Suddenly, a chain lashes across his face. It wraps tight around his arm, yanking him back. The knight turns, stunned by the assault. His attacker is another traitor, a scarred man in armor. The scarred man declares the kingdom has already fallen. But the loyal knight's jaw is set with defiance. He looks to the horizon, seeing the capital burn. A long-haired warrior watches assassins close. He leaps into action, his blade a blur of motion. Surrounded, the knight questions the scale of the betrayal. The scarred man answers, they are united by faith. They serve a single master, no matter their station. They will bathe the land in blood for his arrival. The wounded king finally goes limp in the knight's arms. But he speaks, revealing he knows their identity. They worship a demon-like being from the age of war. His immense power was seen as the will of a god. The empires united to fight him, but he vanished without a trace. The king recalls a knight who survived the demon's wrath. He knew the demon returned when an entire order fell. Fearing the demon would follow, he urged the survivor into exile. But the knight refused, so the king branded him a liar. A heavy silence falls. The demon's existence was a secret known only to kings. He made a terrible choice to protect his kingdom. He purged his lands, believing he had made them safe. But their safety made them the perfect sacrifice. The demon's seeds of chaos grew in the long peace. A young man listens, his expression unreadable. He realizes the mad king was sane all along. It was his own people who served true evil. His entire faith begins to crumble before his eyes. All their righteous acts were just to summon a monster. He confronts the scarred man, his father, with the truth. The scarred man orders Sagar to the castle. The cult leader wanted him to witness this and understand. A scarred warrior tells him they will finish the fight here. Sagar is torn, his world turned upside down. He turns his back on the slaughter and walks away. A memory surfaces of a kind, blonde woman. An old man gives him a charm to ward off the dead. Now he walks through a field of corpses calling his name. He clutches the charm, his only protection. His father calls this his final initiation. They stand before the desolate royal castle. Sagar walks the long, empty throne room. His father sits waiting, a king of ruin. He seals the doors, trapping himself inside. He asks if this was his father's grand plan. The scarred man confirms it was all by design. The terrible truth finally forms on his lips. We were worshipping a demon, weren't we? His father confirms it without a hint of shame. Sagar admits he couldn't watch the massacre, but he concedes his father's will is absolute. His father embraces him, speaking of a new world. He asks why Sagar still trembles with fear. Sagar says the dead are clawing at the door. He sees the corpses, a tide of wailing souls. The scarred man looks down, his expression cold. He realizes the amulet is creating this vision. There are no dead, Sagar, destroy it. But Sagar refuses, terrified of what's outside. His father calls it an illusion born of weakness. He rips the charm from Sagar's hand and crushes it. Now look at the door again, he commands. Sagar turns, his eyes wide with disbelief. The grand doors are completely silent. Suddenly, the doors explode inward. Sagar stares in horror, whispering of the dead. He and his father are blasted off their feet. The scarred man hits the ground, stunned. His eyes are wide with silent disbelief. A new figure stands silhouetted in the door. He's shirtless, chained, and smiling wide. Both Sagar and his father are utterly confused. The man says he didn't want to become a monster. That's why he always fought without killing. Sagar's eyes widen with sudden recognition. He remembers watching the bare-handed fights. He recalls a battlefield where nothing made sense. The exile clowns were defeated but not killed. He remembers the report, no deaths, all calculated. Why would anyone spare lives in a deathmatch? The man repeats his vow to not be a monster. The terrible truth finally clicks for Sagar. The chain man points an accusing finger, but you killed them all. His eyes glow red because you're the monsters. Sagar asks if he killed everyone outside. He thinks of the believers in the tournament stands. He remembers the armed cultists in the forest. Sagar had walked right after the chaos began, and this man arrived almost immediately after. He walked the same path, leaving a trail of death. Sagar's father scoffs, refusing to believe such a lie. The chain man just grins, gripping his restraints. He tenses his muscles, pulling the chains taut. He swings the heavy iron like a deadly whip. The father calls him insolent for stealing their weapon. The chains fly through the air towards him. He claims they are the masters of this weapon. He calls the attack foolish, easily blocking the chain. The chain wraps around his blade, pulling the man down. Sagar's father yanks his sword back hard, but the man catches the sword as it flies by. The father is stunned by the sudden reversal. He whips the chains, tripping the other guards. He uses the momentum to swing himself into the air. He soars towards his target, sword ready. A wild, joyful grin spreads across his face. The father raises a hand, but it's too late. The man's strike disarms him in an instant. His weapons clatter uselessly to the floor. The chain fighter continues his fluid assault. He lands perfectly, chains coiled and ready. The father can only stare, admitting his skill. He demands to know how he's so skilled with their weapon. The man just grins, refusing to answer. The man's only answer is a challenge, fight. A strange light fills the father's eyes. The world fades to black. A memory surfaces from the darkness. He recalls pledging his life to a dark lord. He remembers that terrifying, ecstatic smile. Back in the present, his composure is shattered. He feels that same overwhelming awe and fear. He refuses to believe what he's feeling. He's just rusty from a lack of worthy foes. He raises his sword, vowing a blood offering. But a sharp tug on the chain throws him forward. He grabs the chain, halting the pull. He yanks back with all his might. The chain man digs in, holding his ground. The father mocks his foe's foolish tactic. He declares the smaller man will be dragged. But the fighter's eyes show no fear. He uses the tension to launch himself into a flip. The two warriors become a blur of motion. Their blades clash in a shower of sparks. Steel grinds against steel, locked together. They stand face to face at a stalemate. The fighter notes they've gotten much closer. A strange, unsettling aura surrounds the man. With every clash, a different memory surfaces. It feels like he's fighting a different being entirely. His posture, his gaze, his killing intent all shift. An observer screams that the dead are fighting too, but the father furiously denies it. The fighter says God exists for believers, and the dead appear for those who believe. Sagar is left completely speechless. The fighter only knew people through combat. Those memories haunted him every single day. Even the dead return to fight him in his dreams. He feels the spirits of their battles on his skin. Because of this, he has never forgotten them. And now the father will join them. He is now bound to the fighter and his ghosts. The scene shifts to the aftermath of another fight. A bruised fighter is carried from the battlefield. He gazes at the smoking castle in the distance. A fighter named Happy had changed his style. He was now fighting with lethal precision. A hooded figure observes the unfolding battle. While fighting, Happy armed his fellow combatants. He tossed weapons to the defenseless. He ordered them to keep the enemy back. By arming them, he turned the tide of battle. The battlefield is a storm of blood and steel. Without delay, Happy runs to save others. A commander watches the chaos with grim resolve. Happy uses his chains to crush an armored foe. He asks if the cult leader is in the castle. That must be why they're guarding this path. With a manic grin, he charges forward. He suddenly stops before a familiar knight. The knight looks down at the exhausted Happy. A blade is drawn from its sheath. The knight watches Happy carve through the enemy. A commander demands to know why he's so late. The knight reports the other troops were wiped out, but a shout announces reinforcements have arrived. The commander bellows for everyone to assemble. The red-clad fighter stands ready for the next phase. The regrouped army advances toward the castle. The tournament grounds are littered with the dead. A medic directs others to help the survivors. A scarred man says it's too late for the kingdom. The royal family was massacred, the ground stained red. But Happy says they fight for those still alive. He tells the man he started this, so he'll finish it. He vows to kill their god if he appears. He faces the leader unarmed and unarmored, with no intention of retreating. The leader's blade meets Happy's chains. The force of the block staggers him. Both fighters dig in for the next exchange. The chain snaps taut around the leader's sword. He realizes the chain has shortened, trapping him. Happy unleashes a devastating punch to his face. The leader is stunned by this raw power. Enraged, he struggles against his bonds. Happy uses the momentum to swing around, slamming a vicious kick into the leader's head. The blow sends the man flying across the room. His opponent lies disarmed on the floor. A final crushing stomp echoes through the hall, but a new fighter appears, looking confused. A thrown dagger narrowly misses Happy's head. The newcomer stands ready with twin blades. Happy reveals they were once friendly neighbors. He asks if their friendship was just a lie. The man insists he never wanted this to happen. He claims he tried to protect the villagers. Happy reveals the people from the farm are alive. He says they're now fighting to save more lives. But the leader rises, calling Happy a liar. He admits he mistook Happy's power for divine. But now he sees only a pathetic human. The leader turns his attention to Sagar. He names Sagar his successor to lead the cult. Sagar is completely bewildered by the command. Suddenly, the leader reveals 2 poison vials. Sagar's eyes widen in absolute horror. He smashes them, releasing a toxic cloud. Happy is caught in the gas, choking. His body convulses, muscles bulging in agony. The leader declares they will die here together. Both men are now writhing on the floor. The chains themselves are delivering the poison. Sagar charges forward, sword ready to strike. But the leader just smiles through the pain. Happy lunges, grabbing the leader in a final embrace. He holds him tight, refusing to let go. He whispers that he truly saved the people. But saving them from one fate is just killing them in another. The leader's vision fills with his victims. And so the cult leader dies by his own hand. With him gone, his followers simply vanish. Chaos erupts, no one knows who is a victim. The kingdom is consumed by paranoia and fear. In the turmoil, the injured king finally dies. The royal family and nobles are massacred. The kingdom's entire power structure collapses. A great dark age descends upon the land. But in the countryside, a small light remains. A knight directs the wounded to a treatment center. Inside, a woman asks about their poison exposure. Sagar says he held his breath and escaped. A man questions how dangerous it could be. The woman explains even a drop is fatal. Another survivor asks how she knows so much. She says her grandparents are the real experts. The old man reveals a painful family history. Her parents drank from a well poisoned by a cult. A young Winnie watched them die in agony. Their family has hated that religious group ever since. Sagar's thoughts turn to Happy's full exposure. But somehow Happy is perfectly fine. He even brings Sagar a cup of medicine. Winnie remembers when Happy first arrived. His body fought the poison like an old enemy. The captain asks if he was poisoned before. Happy just smiles, saying it only hurt. A man in the background watches them intently. He pulls the captain aside for a private word. The two of them step outside the building. The captain turns, asking what this is about. The man presents a scroll from a dead body. The captain eyes the document with suspicion. It's a will from Lukasjan meant for Happy. The man confirms the captain's fears were right. A flashback begins, a story of a lone survivor. A bloodthirsty cult once ravaged the kingdom. They worshipped a being they called a demon. The dying king confirmed this demon was real. And Lukasjan's letter connects everything. It says Happy was a child abandoned by that demon. The letter's author, Lukasjan, begins his tale. He was obsessed with finding the strongest being. He believed Happy's parents were that ideal. A wealthy nobleman, he began his search. He hunted for the parents who sold their child. After a long search, he finally found them. Or rather, he found where they had to be. A blood-soaked mountain pass where his men vanished. He spent years researching the forbidden location. He found a place hidden on all royal maps. A place known only as the demon's resting ground. The ancient kings guarded this sleeping evil. He took in the abandoned child Happy by fate. He forced Happy to fight to face his destiny. Lukasjan watches his creation with grim resolve. Lukasjan declares Happy his new ideal. The letter ends, revealing the hidden location. The captain demands to know who else knows. The man confirms the messenger told no one. Only the two of them know the truth. The captain reels from the shocking revelation. He questions if Happy is a savior or a disaster, but he decides to trust that Happy is an ally. The subordinate warns the cult is still a threat. The captain suggests they must warn the other kings, but revealing Happy's origin could turn allies into foes. They decide to hide Happy's identity for now. A long and dangerous journey lies ahead. Meanwhile, villagers celebrate a new night. It's Happy humbly accepting their praise. The community welcomes him with open arms. They prepare a toast in his honor. Raising their mugs, they cheer for Happy. A flashback to a truly innocent Happy boy. The scene shifts to a field of endless graves. 2 weeks have passed since the massacre. Happy has been digging graves without rest. He mourns the countless victims of the attack. An old man says a mass grave would be easier, but Happy insisted on burying every single person. He says he remembers every single one. They are people, not just numbers. His words strike a chord with her. Her sorrow turns into determination. Tears stream down her face. The old man hurries back to a cabin. Inside, he finds the woman grieving. She can't believe Sagar was a cultist. The old man knew he was the leader's son, but he says Sagar tried to save them. She argues he's still a killer. The old man looks away, saying nothing. An eye watches from a crack in the wall. A flashback to Sagar hiding in darkness. He remembers his father's words. A memory of the cult leader. He was told to lead the cult's assassins. His father questioned his inaction. Sagar admits he lacks the will to kill. His father simply called him weak. Back in the present, a floorboard is lifted. A woman emerges, complaining about the stench. The old man tells her to be quiet. He saved them, believing Sagar is good. He found them both near death's door. The woman from the floor demands answers. He reminds her Sagar was the one who saved her. Now that she's healed, he tells her to run. She scoffs, saying the whole kingdom is doomed. Alliances are broken, they're branded as fanatics. The old man panics, but she's unconcerned. She asks the grieving woman about the cult's plans, but the woman has no interest in leading them. The survivor presses, asking about their faith. Their belief is simple: God will save them. But she corrects herself, a darker truth emerges. A demon will return to purge the profane. The other woman sees an opportunity in this. She suggests they join the demon's side. The old man is horrified by her survival plan. The grieving woman listens, her expression unreadable. Elsewhere, a family packs their belongings to flee. A young man urges his father to escape now. His gaze is fixed, his mind made up. But then he declares he's decided to stay. He won't abandon those trying to rebuild the ruins. His father is left completely speechless. He lowers his head, processing his son's words. At a camp, a man asks about the expedition. It's a mission to request aid from allied nations. The expedition will split into 2 groups. Only the most trusted warriors will be sent. Elsewhere, rain falls on a quiet home. An old man says they must send Happy. A young woman protests he's not even a knight. 2 days later, the expedition prepares to leave. The kingdom is still bleeding, but they must go. Their commander rallies them in the king's name. He speaks to those who are driven by revenge. He addresses those seeking a new beginning, and he acknowledges those leaving loved ones behind. Everyone has their own reasons for this journey, but together they are the kingdom's last hope. Back at the house, the young woman is defeated. An old woman appears, telling her to go too. She tells Winnie to go and protect Happy. Winnie looks up, stunned by the request. As the group departs, a pouch of flowers is thrown. It lands in the cart, surprising the boy Happy. Suddenly, someone leaps onto the moving cart. It's Winnie, joining the expedition uninvited. She leans close to Happy, telling him she's coming. Their small party rides out into the wilderness. Happy remembers being freed from the arena. Now he watches his whole world disappear behind him. Happy marvels at the vastness of the world. Winnie says a lifetime isn't enough to see it all. He's thrilled by the idea of an endless world. She smiles, amused by his innocence. As dusk approaches, the commander calls a halt. He orders a warrior named Hermod to rest for his watch. Then he asks for a volunteer to cook dinner. A hand shoots up, confidently volunteering. The commander agrees without looking, but the other warriors are confused. He turns to see Winnie, waving cheerfully. The commander is stunned, demanding to know why she's here. She argues that every expedition needs a healer. He immediately shuts her down. Winnie reminds him she saved his life from poison. He's unmoved, ordering her to go back. But sending her back alone is too dangerous. Hermod speaks up, supporting her, joining them. He vouches for her skill and leadership. The commander is cornered, watching her already helping. With the decision made, they set up camp. Happy and Winnie work together on the campfire. Another young warrior brings a bucket of water. The commander watches them from a distance. He notes how quickly they've come together. Night falls over the expedition's camp. A hearty stew bubbles over the fire. Winnie watches the pot, humming to herself. She remembers the captain is out scouting. A portion will be saved for Hermod. Happy eagerly asks when they can eat. She pats his head, saying they'll wait. Suddenly, the sound of hooves approaches. They both look up, alerted by the noise. A lone traveler emerges from the trees. He surveys their small camp from horseback. Winnie and Happy watch him approach cautiously. The man tips his hat with a slight smile. He rides past their camp without stopping. Happy remarks that travelers are common here. The night deepens, hiding dark intentions. Elsewhere, a group of bandits admire their loot. The traveler reports he's found more prey. He rides off as his men prepare to move. The bandits celebrate their string of luck. Meanwhile, the commander finishes his patrol. He walks past corpses, declaring the area safe. Back at camp, the warriors are all asleep, but one person is still awake, eating. Hermod enjoys the delicious stew left for him. From the bushes, the bandits watch their target. They see only one man on watch, but suddenly another person sits up. The bandits freeze, fearing they've been seen. The kid just cheerfully announces a bathroom break. Hermod waves him off into the darkness. He walks away from the camp's light. Meanwhile, the bandits creep forward silently. They think he's walking right towards them, but he's just looking for a private spot. The bandits decide to take him out first. Their leader gives the signal to attack. One man creeps up behind the kid. He swings a heavy axe at his head, but a swift kick shatters the weapon. The attacker is sent flying into his men. Chaos erupts as they all tumble down. The kid lands gracefully, completely unfazed. One bandit tries to flee in terror, but the kid is instantly upon him. He turns, his face a mask of fear. A devastating kick connects with his jaw. The last man standing can only stare. He immediately begs for his life. The kid asks if they're believers. The bandit insists they're just common thieves, but the kid's smile is anything but merciful. He pulls out a familiar, ornate bat. He remembers the man who carried it at dinner. Was that man a victim, or was he targeting them? His eyes glow, spotting a dark bloodstain. The realization hits him with sudden fury. Back at the camp, the commotion draws attention. The kid returns, dragging two terrified bandits. They interrogate the men about the road ahead. The bandits reveal multiple gangs have gathered. They've divided the entire area into territories. The strongest gang claimed the very front spot. Hermod realizes the entire road is a death trap. A companion notes the rise in kingdom refugees. He worries news of their kingdom has spread. It's been long enough for rumors to travel. They lack the numbers for a full-scale battle. The group is trapped with no clear way forward. Then the dark-haired man proposes a new plan. They can exploit the fragile balance of power. They'll pretend to be a gang returning from a raid. Rival gangs will assume they're off-limits. Coming from the front implies they're strong. But Hermod points out a fatal flaw in the plan. Hermod explains only real bandits know gang secrets. The group realizes their disguise isn't enough. The captured bandits are their only solution. They force the men to guide them through territories. The younger members, disguised, try to look tough. One of the captives nervously asks to be spared. The bald knight assures him they keep their promises. The bandit doesn't look convinced by his words. He mutters that their boss will rescue them soon. But back at the bandit camp, the boss is unconcerned. He suspects the campers were stronger than they looked. An underling suggests investigating the disappearance. The boss coldly dismisses his missing men. He reveals they were worthless pawns anyway. He orders his men to prepare bribes for the guards. That night, the group makes camp with their prisoners. The bandit confidently tells the others they'll be saved. The bald knight offers them a bowl of hot stew. The prisoners are stunned by the act of kindness. They stare at the food, drooling with hunger. One of them hesitantly accepts the meal. They're told to eat well for their last meal. The two younger companions watch from a distance. Hermod thinks the bandits seem almost pitiful. William reminds him they tried to kill him with an axe. William is snapped back to the grim reality. The next morning, they prepare to depart. On the third day, their strange procession continues. The bandits still believe their boss will find them. One of them begs for his life, promising safe passage. The knight's reply is a cold, veiled threat. Hours later, they travel down a winding road. Hermod casually asks why their boss travels separately. The man reveals they're fighting for citizenship. Hermod finds their desperate situation interesting. Suddenly, a rustling from the nearby woods. He glances over, sensing something is wrong. The sound of running feet grows louder. The veteran members stop, instantly on alert. A stampede of footsteps closes in on them. Another bandit group ambushes them from the trees. The horses rear in panic at the sudden chaos. Even the bald knight is caught completely off guard. They're surrounded on the narrow path. A massive axe slams down, blocking their way. Their leader mistakes them for a rival gang. William's father assesses the new, deadly threat. A flashback reveals they planned for this moment. Their captive had promised to negotiate for them. The bald knight shoves the prisoner forward to talk. The captive looks utterly bewildered by the command. A flicker of understanding crosses his face. He shouts a crude insult at the ambushers. He believed this phrase would make them back down. Hermod tells William to draw his sword. The bandit leader's axe slams into the knight's shield. He threatens to tear the knight apart for his insolence. The knight effortlessly blocks another furious swing. He calmly asks if they know who they're picking a fight with. The leader demands to know who they are. He claims to know every major crew but not them. The captive blurts out that they're a new gang. The ambushers are confused by the mixed signals. The bald knight tries to de-escalate, asking to avoid war. The leader scoffs at a rookie gang acting so tough. William's father says they only want to pass through. The leader is stunned by their apparent ignorance. He reveals their main camp is just ahead. The entire group freezes, realizing their fatal mistake. The leader offers them a single chance to survive. Leave everything behind and they can walk away alive. The bald knight and William's father share a silent look. William's father seems to consider the offer. Then he roars a single command, duck. His massive club smashes into the leader's face. His grip tightens on the massive club. The weapon connects with a sickening crunch. The bandit leader is sent flying, his body limp. But a new leader emerges, mocking their foolishness. William's father realizes this is no ordinary crew. The captive reveals they're a top 3 bandit gang. His son grabs him, furious they provoked such monsters. A bandit charges the defenseless captives, but William intercepts, his shield saving the day. He stands over the fallen man, a silent protector. The battle erupts as his father grabs the reins. He roars for them to use the wagons as a wall. The new leader smirks, ready for a real fight. He orders his men to overwhelm them completely. From the wagon, the defenders brace for the charge. A long polearm sweeps a bandit off his feet. Hermod holds off 2 attackers with a single blade. He spins through their clumsy swings and cuts them down in a blur of motion. The bald knight clashes with the boar-helmeted leader. The leader's axe is stopped cold by the knight's sword. A flicker of disbelief crosses the bandit's face. Elsewhere, another defender is pushed back, crying out. The leader can't believe how skilled they are. He watches in shock as his men are thrown around. The leader's eyes widen in confusion. A bandit screams about something in the wagon. One of his men cautiously peers over the side. He finds 3 confused dwarves huddled inside. A hammer axe suddenly smashes into his face. Elsewhere, bandits swarm an unarmed fighter, but he moves like a phantom through their ranks. An attacker stares, unable to comprehend his speed. The fighter's fist connects with a brutal crack. He takes down another with a single blow. An axe swing misses him by inches. He counters with a devastating spinning kick. The battlefield is littered with fallen bandits. A defender reports one flank is completely clear. The bandit leader roars, his plan falling apart. Meanwhile, another group ushers the dwarves. The unarmed fighter pats his shielded ally. He smiles, leading the dwarves from the fight. The bandits realize they're being used as a distraction. A commander orders his men to ignore them, but their victory is cut short by new arrivals. The boar-helmeted leader bellows for reinforcements. An entire army emerges from the forest. The defenders are horrified, but one grins maniacally. The rescued dwarves run to find their boss. The rescued dwarf pants, his eyes wide with shock. He looks away, lost in a daze. A memory flashes of his capture and enslavement. He looks down, a new resolve hardening his face. He remembers begging for food with the others. His captor's cruel words echo in his mind. He recalls the feeling of being held down. The man he trusted had betrayed them all. The trauma of that moment burns in his memory. But then he remembers the one who saved them. He trips hard while running, eating dirt. A friend helps him up, urging him to flee. But his savior's words give him a new purpose. The dwarves suddenly stop their retreat. The bald dwarf declares they must earn their keep. His companions stare, stunned by his courage. They arm themselves with rocks and sticks. With a unified roar, they charge into the fight. They finally see the battlefield through the trees. A rock smashes into the boar-helmeted leader's face. Meanwhile, the grinning defender is a blur of axes. He kicks an enemy while blocking another's hammer. He ducks a swing, letting bandits strike each other. He explodes outward, taking down multiple foes at once. His fists move faster than they can see. A single punch sends bandits flying. The dwarves can only stare in disbelief. His eyes lock onto his final target. He smashes the axe into the leader's face. But the bandit leader refuses to go down. Happy raises his weapon for the finishing blow. The terrified leader immediately surrenders. The battlefield is littered with fallen bodies. His allies are completely lost for words. The captain admits Happy's skills are legendary. They recall putting their faith in his promise. Happy had sworn to take down everyone himself. The blonde woman asks the dwarves how they won. She's shocked they returned instead of fleeing. The dwarf admits they lied about knowing the way. Happy's axe convinces him to talk. A mercenary reports their wagon is destroyed. The captain grimaces at the bad news. But Happy has a simple solution: loot the camp. The mercenaries watch, stunned by his attitude. They find a new wagon and plenty of supplies. The captain orders all enemy weapons destroyed. His companions watch the strange scene unfold. The woman notes they're acting like bandits now. The captain justifies it as reclaiming kingdom property. The captain feels confident with Happy on their side. The crew eagerly follows their new leader, Hermod. They've officially become the Hermod Bandit Gang. The new gang rides off, leaving the old one behind. The sky stretches above their long journey. Day turns into night on the road. The following morning, a new threat appears. A much stronger bandit leader arrives, furious. He demands to know who defeated his crew. The leader scoffs, asking for the gang's name. The defeated man struggles to find the words. A flashback shows a bandit being questioned. He calls them monsters he's never seen before. The captain is annoyed they're using his name. The name is misheard as Helmer, demons from hell. The bandit leader scoffs at the ridiculous name, but his real concern is the stolen loot. His man insists they were completely overpowered. The leader's rage finally explodes. He vows to hunt them down and take everything back. 7 days later, they near the kingdom's walls. They arrive at an outer defense outpost. A lookout spots the approaching bandits. The guard captain dismisses the report as nonsense. He squints, trying to get a better look. Hermod's crew finally reaches the kingdom's border. The guards see them as bandits and prepare to fire, but the captain orders his man to hold his fire. He spots another group approaching from behind them. It's the infamous Iron Fang bandit gang's boss. The situation at the gate becomes incredibly tense. A flashback reveals the boss learned of the Helmer gang. He was told a single man defeated his entire crew. His subordinate tries to explain the situation further, but the furious leader cuts him off with a blow. He knows they're heading for the kingdom and won't allow it. Back in the present, his gang charges forward. The boss smirks, glad he caught them in time. Hermod realizes his pursuers have finally arrived. One of the dwarves calls out to the bandit leader. The leader recognizes them as the campers from before. He asks if they're the so-called Helmer gang. He questions why the dwarves are with his enemies. The dwarves frantically explain they were kidnapped. Hermod warns him not to fight before the guards. His eyes narrow, ready for what comes next. He yells to the guards, demanding passage as allied knights. The guards on the tower remain completely silent. His crew wonders why the guards aren't responding. The captain scoffs at their bold but unbelievable claim. He questions how their small group survived the forest. Hermod's man pleads, saying they have items to prove their story. The captain mocks them, pretending he can't hear. He taunts them to defeat the bandits if they're real knights. His order is simple: kill them all, then they'll talk. His subordinate worries about attacking an allied nation. The captain furiously shuts down his subordinate's doubts. Hermod's companion explains this outpost is for rejects. The captain roars, having heard the insult perfectly. The bandit boss cuts in, demanding his property back. With a cold smirk, he lays out his first demand. He demands they hand over the kidnapped dwarves. A dwarf frantically warns them to run from his monstrous boss. The gray-haired man orders his team to form ranks. His expression is grim as he repeats the command. But his team is already at its absolute limit. They've fought countless battles, always outnumbered. The journey has been a constant, grueling march. They've endured endless, tense standoffs. Sleep has been a luxury they can't afford. Now their stamina has hit rock bottom. The curly-haired fighter is on the verge of collapse. As the other dwarves flee, one asks why they aren't running. Hermod draws his sword, stating they have nowhere left to run. He declares they don't fight for land or treasure. They fight only for the people they must protect. Hermod proposes a duel between leaders to spare their men. The bandit boss scoffs at the honorable offer. He always planned to kill everyone himself. Without warning, he cuts down his own man. He screams he'll kill all the useless idiots. He smashes another bandit's face with his axe. He rants they almost cost him his prize. Hermod's shield barely blocks the wild swing. A nearby dwarf is struck by the follow-through. His brother rushes to his side, seeing the wound. He desperately tries to stop the bleeding. The injured dwarf's eyes are wide with shock. He whispers this is punishment for their sins. His brother ignores him, trying to lift him up. The dying dwarf says his brother always protected them. He insists his brother is not a bandit. With his last breath, he calls him their knight. Life fades into a black, empty void. The dwarf dies in his brother's arms. Blood spatters against the darkness. The brother holds the body, lost in grief. The bandit boss roars, loving the carnage. Hermod parries another furious blow from the berserker. Suddenly, a blur flies right between them. The blur was a body sent tumbling down the hill. The bandit boss grabs another of his own men. He snarls, calling the man an insect, then smashes his skull with the axe handle. He throws the corpse aside to block a sword. Another bandit is violently shoved away. The berserker continues his rampage against everyone. A victim lies dead in the grass, eyes open. Another screams, his face a ruin of flesh. From the woods, a new group watches the carnage. Even hardened soldiers are stunned by the brutality. A masked observer's eyes burn with fury. The dark-haired man questions the bandits' cruelty. The boss reveals they were never his comrades. Just escaped slaves he treats like livestock. Hermod in his boar helm prepares to strike. Steel clashes again in the chaotic melee. The boss taunts him for defending the weak. Hermod tightens his grip, holding his ground. The berserker roars, promising a painful death. The dark-haired observer analyzes the scene. He notes the other bandits are not fighting. Is it fear or confidence in their leader? He realizes the key to ending this fight. Take down the leader and the battle is over. The observer wonders if this was Hermod's plan. But everyone is exhausted, can he even win? A flashback to a man named Happy's advice. The night before a lesson began, Happy told William his fighting style is wrong. He lacks the strength for such reckless moves. Life or death gambles will only get him killed. He must become a shield, creating a certain victory. In the present, Hermod blocks the axe. He protects his body, conserving his stamina. The berserker's rage meets cold focus. Hermod shoves him back, creating an opening. The lesson's final point, strike with certainty. Suddenly Happy appears and strikes the boss. The watching soldiers erupt in cheers. Their captain watches the scene, stunned silent. Happy stands over the body, a true warrior. The dark-haired strategist is completely baffled. He looks back at the other bandits. The masked observer asks for his thoughts. He realizes they heard tales of Happy's strength. It wasn't confidence in their leader but fear of him. A bandit confirms it, his part in the play over. This entire battlefield was Happy's design. A fallen slave is promised a new world. Happy walks past the body of his fallen pawn. He explains the game was simple, just catch the leader. The bandit lies broken, his role fulfilled. Happy now surveys his captive audience. The bandit leader had been pushed too far. He unleashed his full murderous rage. From the walls, the commander saw the monster emerge. A beast consumed by pure unstoppable madness. He believed no one could possibly stop him. A sudden blur of motion and impact. The berserker brings his axe down hard, but Happy meets him with a single fist. The punch connects with impossible force. A bandit's head explodes from the blow. Happy's fist is drenched in blood. The headless body collapses to the ground. The bandit leader dies, staring in disbelief. The strategist and his companions are speechless. On the wall, the soldiers are frozen in terror. The commander's eyes are wide with fear. He stammers a desperate order to an archer. Shoot him, shoot them. He screams that they're all bandits. The order rings out across the wall. The archer hesitates, his eye wide with shock. But a crossbow bolt is suddenly aimed upwards. The archer yelps, his weapon now pointing at his commander. The commander grabs the crossbow, furious at his subordinate. He takes aim himself, ready to end this. But below, Happy just smiles up at him. The commander freezes, sweat beading on his brow. He wonders if Happy is daring him to shoot. A silent challenge from the monster below. The commander's resolve completely shatters. He lowers the weapon and changes the order. The fortress gates begin to open. The strategist and his companions watch in relief. They are escorted inside the walls as prisoners. From the courtyard, they look up at the tower. The commander can only stare, utterly terrified. Meanwhile, in a village far from the kingdom, we find ourselves inside a rustic tavern. A woman complains about their fruitless demon hunt. She questions what they can find in this place. She's bored and wants to leave immediately. Suddenly, a loud crash echoes through the bar. A new gang storms in, making demands. They're looting everything before another gang arrives. One of them shoves a waitress to the floor. She looks up in terror at a figure looming over her. The waitress begs for her life. She's left helpless on the floor. The woman coldly tells her to crawl. She claims to be busy surviving herself, but her companion helps the waitress up. The gang leader orders them to leave. The woman completely ignores his threat. He's enraged by her blatant disrespect. Her companion explains they came for believers. Suddenly, the woman's demeanor shifts. The tavern plunges into darkness. The gang leader sees the doors being barred. Blood splatters across the woman's face. The waitress attacks him from behind. All the patrons turn on the gang. A brutal slaughter erupts in the dark. The floor is soaked in blood. The waitress crawls among the carnage. The woman storms out, clearly annoyed. She complains he didn't warn her sooner. She scoffs at the cult's chilling deception, living peacefully for years, then becoming killers. Her companion says it's not madness but faith. She dismisses faith as something that fades. She wants to know why they started this now. He admits the cult existed long before he was born. Even his father, a founder, left him no answers. He believes there's only one way to find the truth. They must confront the demon at the cult's origin. Their plan is to hunt down believers for information. Following the trail will lead them to the demon itself. She challenges him, revealing she plans to join the demon. Her companion is left speechless by her declaration. He only wants to minimize the casualties. She scoffs at his naive hope. To survive, she insists they must join the stronger side. She asks about their next destination. He reveals their next target is a king. Elsewhere, a king is told an expedition has arrived. The king wears a strange, unsettling mask. She's shocked a cultist sits on the throne. He admits he only learned the cult's true scale recently. It's too late, the time to stop them has passed. A commander halts his troops, knowing this is just the start.